Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. The world's gone insane. I do apologize for the lateness, but our usual people who tend to host this are not around right now, and they will be eventually once they pull their finger out their asses. In the meantime, let's introduce you to my current co-host, and that is Christine. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you, Sam. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I just
Um,
I
I,
just noticed your hair. It looks cool.
well, this is actually my hair. Pretty cool, huh?
It's neat.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I got a surprise every minute. Okay.
Fooled me.
Yeah. Thank you. So well, I want to start off with this TikTok I came across the other day. Let me just make sure I got it all set up. Okay. It's I mean, when it comes to this show, unfortunately, even though we like to have fun with the other show, this show kind of starts off on a depressing note with all the crazy shit that we come across. And unfortunately, this is one of them. Let's go.
I was tagged in the following video a number of times, and before any of you watch it, it is quite disturbing. So if you don't have the mental or emotional capacity to watch this, please scroll now.
Hey, so I just wanted to quickly respond to a meme that I recently saw. It was a meme that had a picture of a witch flying on a broom in the background, and it said, Christians did not burn witches, they just set women on fire who they couldn't control. And so my question in response to that is, what's wrong with setting women on fire?
You heard him correctly. Now, as an atheist and a witch, I don't need a book of mythologies to tell me that unaliving other people is bad and wrong and that I shouldn't do it. I simply do not want to harm other people. Not because of a divine punishment, not because of a hell fear or a vengeful God. I believe in none of those things. We as a society of humans have evolved to understand that our actions have consequences. And if everybody was out just nimbly bimbly unaliving other people, our society would collapse. I'm glad that person believes in God. I'm glad that he has a fear of hell for his actions. Because if that book is the only thing standing in his way, I'm glad that he believes in it. I was tagged in the following video
All
a
right.
number.
Okay. Okay. First, everything she said is correct, but I'm thinking in his case he was just making a very off-color joke. That's what I got from his body language. Unfortunately, there are other people out there that truly behave and think and act like his joke.
I I hope it is a joke, but unfortunately, if people listen to that rhetoric and they can't see between the lines, and there are people who want to burn women regardless of them being witches or not, then they'll say, you know what, I'm justified now because this person thinks the way I do, or some shit like that. And it is about control of women. At the end of the day, it is. You can't control them, so burn them. You know,
And, and,
yeah,
and back then
yeah,
too, right? Or out of jealousy, because a lot of women were healers and the church wanted you to believe that divine intervention was going to heal your child or your wife or whatever. And then this woman who lived on the edge of town because they were shunning them had herbs and actually helped. Well, that made the church look bad. So
yeah. Exactly, the adulterous. Like even in some things, like no, adultery is I don't even have to look at adultery sometimes. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it neither? But people get burnt to death, for that, and it'll be the women, not the men. And it's no different to to a degree what's happening in society today in some backwards parts of the world where if a woman gets raped, for instance, she is just to blame as the man is. And hello there, Gary.
All right.
And this is something that needs to be eradicated from society, because it's still in society today, whether it be the Christian faith doing it, which is not to a degree it isn't, but there are parts that want to harken back to those days. And then obviously there are cultures out there that still do shit like that, like in the Hindu culture, for instance.
Bridal burning.
Bridal burning. It's different, same but different. Like if your husband died before the wife did, then the wife has to be buried with the husband. Probably the one
throw herself on the burning.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, probably the only good thing to come out of colonialism was that the British stopped that. They intervened with that because because they looked upon it as barbaric, and it is. Regardless, of the culture. Anyway, quick comments here. Nerdiverse has got a weird face because he has a weird face. Ginger Greek, sorry guys, running late. Blood sugar drops over with puking guts out. Beyond soon, no excuse. The TLD, hello mate, how you doing?
Hi, TLD.
Good to see you. Did you see that clip? Then we're talking about. Gary?
No, I didn't. I just joined. Sorry.
Basically, you want me to play again? All right, let's play
sure.
again.
Yeah, sure.
Let's play
I don't know
again.
what the hell you guys are talking about, sorry.
All right, 1 second. Here we go.
I was tagged in the following video a number of times, and before any of you watch it, it is quite disturbing. So if you don't have the mental or emotional capacity to watch this, please scroll now.
Hey, so I just wanted to quickly respond to a meme that I recently saw. It was a meme that had a picture of a witch flying on a broom in the background, and it said, Christians did not burn witches. They just set women on fire who they couldn't control. And so my question in response to that is, what's wrong with setting women on fire?
You heard him correctly.
I just
Now,
walk
as
in
an
on.
atheist and a witch,
Well, this guy basically was talking about what's wrong with Christians used to set women on fire because they claimed they were witches, even though it was basically not being able to control them. And so his point is what's wrong with setting women on fire?
And I said he's probably being very sarcastic, but it's still not a good idea to say shit like that because, like Zam said, other people will take it seriously, and other people still believe that. So,
yeah, yeah. I'm loving
Gary,
that, mate.
Oh, thank you. I'm loving it too. I got it on Temu.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a hedgehog on top of your head.
Yeah, it's good. It's a nice.
Mate, you grow your hair spiky.
Yeah. Well,
I just want to comment one thing on that woman there who said, "I'm an atheist. I'm also a witch."
Yeah.
I mean, you're just as fucking stupid as the people that like believed in witches. Like, you can't be one without being the other.
No,
like,
there's different kinds of witchcraft, Kiki. You can't just say that.
It's just bollocks. Listen,
No,
it's
it
just
isn't.
all falls into
It
spirituality
isn't.
bollocks.
let him speak.
Right.
I hadn't finished speaking until he jumped in, so you know.
Right. Oh, sorry, mate. You carry on.
Right, now you can speak. Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
guys.
No, but like witchcraft, as it's understood today, where it's people with cauldrons, ain't what witchcraft was back then. It was people who maybe like a potion that gave you vigor or something like that would have certain sort of herbs in it. It isn't going around and bullying trouble and shit. That's what witchcraft is.
I know what it is. Why are you explaining it to me? I'm just saying the concept of it is just as stupid today as people believed it was back then in what they thought that witches did. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, oh, I'm an atheist, then I'm a witch. It's different if she said like, oh, I'm spiritual and one with the earth and I believe in witchcraft and all that. I won't mock you for that because that's your thing. But you can't say you don't believe in like a god, in essence, spirituality and all that. Now you're also saying you're a witch. It's like, well, it's one or the other.
Or you happen to have a great knowledge of plants that are technically medicine and you like to collect them and use them appropriately, not because they're, witchy voodoo plants, but they're actually studied, and that could be considered a part of witchcraft, but not
That's a botanist,
witchcraft.
isn't
It's
it?
just herbalism.
Yeah, herbalism and botany.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I just find anybody who says I want a bird people just very troubling. It's just like, I don't care what your flaming what's the word, reason for it is. Please don't bird people. It's like look, if it's religiously based, don't do it because look, sorry, I don't want to get into this, but it's like whatever you believe, just try and make it a positive in the world rather than negative.
You're trying to rationalize with people who can't be rationalized, dude. And an atheist shouldn't be surprised by anything anyone says, especially fears. Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, they want to justify their beliefs by doing the most terrible things, and by saying that my beliefs allows me to do these things. And that's the worst. Unfortunately, I know you're a religious person yourself, but I'll never put you in that category of person myself, guys. But there are a lot of people out there who want to do the worst things ever, and they let their religion be a factor of why they're able and allowed to do it.
There's still religious people, even in 2024, who still beat their kids to an inch of their lives for just doing something wrong, like stealing chocolate out of the flaming biscuit barrel. So
I'm sure that atheists who do that too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I will be fair in that sort of sense.
But you guys missed one of the things she said because we cut it off the second time. She was like, I'm glad you believe in religion, because the only thing, and this scares me too, by the way, the only thing that's stopping people like him from actually burning people is his religion says that he can't do it. And anyone who needs someone or a book to tell them that's wrong or things like that are wrong, that is deeply disturbing to me.
It's funny though, Chris, because once upon a time, his religion said you can do it. And now his religion says you can't do it.
Secular law says you can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back then, the religion could easily do it, but secular law is what tells you can't fucking do it. It's nothing to do with his beliefs. If it was up to the beliefs, it'll be like the Muslim countries that are deeply fundamentalist. It'll be like, I stoned this bitch. Big deal.
Yeah, but when it comes to like the thou shalt not kill, there's not everyone, but a lot of people that follow that religion won't kill because they want to go to heaven. So it's the reward thing for them. It's not the morality thing, and that disturbs me.
I mean, I'm a Quaker, so even if, like, for example, we had a war here, like people say that we're going to be called up to Russia, yeah, good luck. But if that actually happened, I would have to be a conscientious objector, because
you'd just be put to the factories to make the porridge, mate. So you'll be safe.
Or you could be a stretcher bearer.
Yeah, I'm fine with
that. Next clip, guys. Now I really want you to look at this clip. It's another TikTok clip, but unfortunately I can't find the clip I want without the guy narrating it a bit. But trust me, it's still a good clip. You need to watch the woman in this clip and watch what she says very carefully. All right.
Full of misinformation. So let's counteract that today by debunking some misinformation.
Why is it necessary, is reported, to start shooting, having snipers outside a church?
I saw the reports this morning. The church, there are no churches in Gaza, so I'm not quite sure where the report is talking about.
There's a Catholic church in there, isn't there? That is.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are no Christians because
the oldest Orthodox church.
Respectfully, there are Christians, because I spoke to an MP yesterday who has family members in the church who are Christians.
Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know who was attacked. I didn't see the report.
So in a span of about 26 seconds, she goes from saying that she knows about the attack because she read a report to, well, there are no churches, to, well, maybe there are a few churches, but no Christians, to, well, I don't know anything about the attack because I didn't read the report. This is kind of the stuff that usually goes unchecked.
Yeah, watch that, by the way. Just watch it again at the beginning, because she She does do that. She.
We got it. We're not like you. We don't need to see it again.
No,
we
no.
got it.
I'm going to play it again. I don't give a fuck what you say. All right.
We got it.
Okay, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. No.
Full of
No, it's just because you
So
need
let's
you're
counteract
more
that
visual.
today
You need
by
to repeat
debunking
to
some
get things.
misinformation.
Okay, so I do. Something.
Why is it necessary? It is reported to start shooting, having snipers outside a church.
I saw the reports this morning. The church, there are no churches in Gaza, so I'm not quite
She
sure
says
where
she
the
saw the
report
reports.
is.
We know.
There's a Catholic church in there, isn't there?
can
that
read.
is-
I know.
Yeah,
I know you
unfortunately,
know.
there are no
We
Christians.
know.
because
Very
they
clever.
were
Why are you
I know you.
repeating it?
given out
Gold star.
by
there
The
are
audience got it.
There are Christians because I spoke to an
I
MP
know.
yesterday who has family members in the church who are Christians.
Well, I don't know
Unless you're
what
telling me
happened.
she's
I don't know
wrong.
who was attacked. I didn't see the report.
Wow,
There
so
you
in a
go.
span of about
I just wanted, just making sure. Yeah. Okay. You love Nick Ferrari. Well, that one time Nick Ferrari was that broken clock dude. He was right on that
Yeah,
particular
look.
occasion.
Speaking of people you never thought you'd agree with.
If I miss something, I'll let you know, Zam. Like if I need to see it again, but I got that the first time.
Well,
Yeah,
look, yeah,
Matt,
yeah. Go on.
Foreign aid, by definition, is taxation without representation. Taxpayers are funding foreign governments without any say in how funds are used. This country was literally formed to stop that sort of injustice. The whole system of foreign aid is corrupt, immoral, and evil. So you agree we should all stop funding Israel? Yes, all countries. I mean, I can't believe I'm sitting there agreeing with Matt Walsh. He's absolutely right.
I'm sure he's
The
gonna
one fucking
backtrack on that.
time. A broken clock.
Even
right.
before the war, they should have stopped funding Israel. Just to the mere fact that most of their funds was going to free healthcare for the people there off the taxpayers' backs in America that weren't getting free healthcare themselves. It was just stupid.
Yeah, but a lot of Americans know this, and that's why they're like, stop fucking funding Israel. This is ridiculous. Like, you're giving them all the money, you're giving Ukraine all the money, and we're all sitting there homeless, hungry, and 40% of the country's got medical debt, and yet here we are giving more money to these guys. And, even the far right know this. The far right are always like, no, of course, they have a more anti-Semitic slant on sometimes. But here, Matt Walsh, in general, he's spot on because it's like, no foreign aid. It is illegal. It's immoral. It's wrong.
Yeah, but you wait till AIPAC starts paying him, and then he'll fucking change his tune.
Of course.
And plus, he's also working alongside Ben Shapiro, and he works with Ben Shapiro, and I'm sure Ben Shapiro will not appreciate what he's been saying.
No, they can't stand each other.
Yeah, they've been Ben Shapiro is slowly getting isolated amongst his own because of his stance on Israel, which is pretty cool to see, actually.
It's lovely.
The price we pay now to stabilize the region can save money in the long run due to a greater instability in a wider region as a result. Unsecure sea trade right now is driving costs up worldwide.
They're not trying to stabilize anything. They're trying to destabilize it. They're not trying to stabilize anything, because if that region was stabilized, those countries could form a pact and control how they were going to sell their oil and in what price. So the States has a vested interest in helping Israel not keep the peace there and keep them fighting. So there's no, that's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and I just want to, take a moment. I know it's past January 6th, but take a moment to remember Ashley Babbitt. She's now had, 3 years sober since being shot in DC at the failed uprising that she attended. So, Ashley.
Actually, salute to you. And the only person amongst all of those people who invaded the Capitol building who wasn't Antifa. The rest of them were.
Oh my God. I'll never forget when that first happened. Everyone's like, yeah, it's Antifa, man. It's all psyops. These aren't real people. I was like, the crowd there, they're the ones that you've seen a million times talk about Trump.
Yeah.
No, it's Antifa.
Rick B says, Israel counter any criticism with the victim card. Yes, the Holocaust was terrible, but at what point do you stop being the victim? Some blacks in America using slavery consistent. Oh, you were doing good until you said that last bit, mate. Yeah, I mean, because they're not using. It's not like they're saying you're using slavery consistently. You know what people are saying right now? They're saying, yeah, the police are constantly killing them for no reason, and there's loads of videos of out there of them doing that, including most recently George Floyd, where the guy was already in cuffs, yet they still fucking killed him, even though he was arrested. And they killed him when they didn't need to kill him because he was in cuffs in police custody. So why the fuck are they killing him?
Banks are still denying loans. Banks are helping with the redlining still. There's no accumulated wealth over generations. So it does matter.
Yeah, and police are always stationed around predominantly black neighborhoods and are there mainly to just intimidate the locals more than anything rather than help them. And so it's not, you're still the victim when the system oppresses you. It's not about playing the victim card. The system still oppressed them. All right.
They got to fill those private prisons, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to fill them with white people because, believe it or not, white people do drugs too. They're going to find black kids with marijuana instead of the white mother with her Xanax and her cocaine, you know?
Yeah. And more white people killed by cops. That's because they're the largest part of the population. But in terms of population numbers, the ratio for how many black people are killed by cops is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, you could say the same for white on white crime compared to black on black crime. You know, but then when you go into those statistics, there's a whole history behind it as well.
Black people are like, it's 2.5% greater chance of being killed by a police officer than a white person. And that includes how many interactions. And it's not based on how many people live in the States. It's based on, I can't think of the word.
Well, and also
just to see it. Right, imagine, for example, somebody who's a mass shooter who's black. Do you think they take him alive? Fuck no. But every white shooter, Aurora, Flaming, the guy who did that gay club in Miami, Oklahoma, Texas, all of them taken alive. What does that tell you? If it's a black guy, and there have been black guys who've been mass shooters, all of them dead. So that doesn't tell you there's inequality there. Nothing ever will. Sorry.
And but
a couple of things. Mass shooter was a guy that took out a lot of cops. So not all heroes wear capes.
You know why they call it Antifa? Because if you call them anti-fascists as scumbags, that just sounds wrong. Hence the abbreviation. Sorry, Chris. Before I go into my next thing.
Okay, yeah, just quickly. I was having a flame war with someone online today because a meme had shown how long slavery had lasted, how long Jim Crow had lasted, and how long racism has still lasted to this date. And someone had a problem with that, saying, you're just painting black people as victims. And my argument was, no, it's just stating a fact. It's not painting someone as a victim. I'm a woman. Women didn't always have the vote. If I bring that up, I'm not painting myself as a victim. I'm just stating a fact that we didn't always have the vote. We do have it now. This is how we got there. Like, I'm not a victim because of that. I was just...
and again, you show that idiot the statistics on violent crime against women. Oh, stop being the victim.
Yeah.
Stop being the perpetrator. That's what you should tell them. Stop being the fucking perpetrator then. And then we won't be the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbasses.
Yeah, blacks they commit more petty and violent crime when you affect the poverty. Yeah,
because of poverty.
It's poverty. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. You know, when people are desperate, then they're going to commit crime. Whether that, and you say petty as well. Petty being maybe stealing an apple so they can fucking stay alive. And people are missing out nowadays on things like food, basic necessities. Mass shootings happen all the time in black neighborhoods, but they don't classify them as such. Yeah, that's terrible. But then again, mass shootings in America is just like yesterday or today or tomorrow. 2 juvenile charged, 1 dead, 20 injured. I want to go on actually. I have a two-part bit here, and the first part is after the Super Bowl win by the Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City fans in the state of Missouri, and I'll talk about that tomorrow regarding dumb fuck Trump. They were celebrating, obviously, their team winning the Super Bowl, but lo and behold, as America, as Americans do best, they started fucking shooting. One guy went on a rampage and started shooting up people in the, in there. One person definitely got killed. Loads of people injured, including kids. 800 cops with guns, by the way. 800 fucking cops there. Good guys with a gun. Unfortunately, with good guys with a gun, they can't do anything until somebody has been shot first and killed first. So that good guy with a gun rhetoric's a load of bollocks. And God knows which way they're going to shoot when there's fucking thousands of people celebrating a Super Bowl victory. And this is just another day. And unfortunately, with all that was going on in the political world, in media, with what happened in Israel, and obviously with the upcoming elections, this Kansas City thing kind of went down the pecking order on what was relevant news, because mass shootings are happening all the fucking time in America. And it doesn't matter who gets killed.
Average one a day.
Yeah, it'll keep
I mean,
happening.
even the people that were talking about it were said, like, I'm just talking about it to highlight it. I don't really care. And it says it's horrible that I feel that way. We've become so numb to it. And then on Reddit, the same people were saying the same thing. They were like, we should be outraged because this is like at a Super Bowl. This is a party. Everyone's having a good time. But here we are. We're just like, just another day in America.
Yeah, but people seem to have blinders on when it comes to the partying after wins of football games and riots against police officers. They look very much similar to me. People are destroying property. There's fights going on. There are shootings going on. Windows of shops are being broken. Things are being stolen. And one is being done because your team won, and one is being done because people are killing you. So, but the media has a problem with just one of those groups, and that's disgusting as well.
I could quickly show you this clip because it ended up being regular people, not the cops, no good guys with a gun, but they're just regular people having to take this fucker out. Guy with a white hair got tackled just then. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Yeah, saw it. Seen the clips.
I'll watch it later.
It's only 36 seconds. By bystanders, and then the police arrive.
Yeah.
I know they get their fucking guns out now, running around like fucking Keanu Reeves from Speed. You know what I mean? One person was killed, 15 of the shot, but that's just too many still. It's just too many. It's just too many. And when is this senseless, endless violence ever gonna end?
Didn't Taylor Swift? I mean, I've heard about her stance on Israel now, so I'm not such a great fan of hers. But she did apparently. I don't know if it's true yet.
Rick.
She gave money.
Okay,
to
Rick.
No. I'll tell you what though.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Taylor Swift did, by the way. She gave money. She donated like 100,000.
I tell you what. When the cops need to be heroes. There's nothing more heroic than this cop here. When just pay close attention. I need to make sure the volume's right up on this. There's nothing more heroic than this cop.
Just reading it, man. Just read it. Fucking hell.
You read it, yeah?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Okay.
So this person's dog.
They're on edge.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots
He's
fired!
rolling around like fucking Captain Kirk in a bucket. Oh shit!
I'm hit!
Is he hit?
No.
No.
He said he's hit.
I'm hit! In the car! I was shot through the car!
Oh god. Yeah, we're watching that now, TLD.
What happened? Was it? Did someone really have a gun?
No, someone's
No.
doing an Akon at
So basically, hang on. So basically, what happened was an Akon fell from a tree, hit the car, and a little dink. He thought it was shots fired. So he barrel rolled out the way and offloaded into his own police car, which had a person in handcuffs in there. And his partner comes in. She also offloads into the police car where the suspect is, who just got arrested for a domestic dispute. And obviously something ricocheted there and hit him, but it wasn't a bullet. It was just something else, but because he wasn't bleeding or anything like that. Luckily, the suspect is okay. He didn't get hit once. How he didn't get hit is
That's
beyond
fucking
me.
Pulp Fiction.
That's even
Yeah.
it's I'm glad they didn't get hit, but that says even more about the cop that can't even do his job right the first time and not know he's not being shot at. But then when he returns fire, can't hit anything. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah, just
he's
offload
fine.
into his car. There's people just to the left of him, because when the
Crossfire.
female officer comes in, that's where the resident that were taking the statement from about over what happened was. Okay, so if his bullet had ricocheted off, it could have hit any of them. The fact it didn't hit anyone in the car is mind-boggling. But this is how they're trained. They're trained to be on edge all the time. It's like the Marge Simpson bit where like a door closes and she rolls and points a gun at a passerby or one of her husband or
a
kids or
baby
whatever.
in pram or something.
Yeah, something like that. You know, they're just the way they're trained to be on edge and to be scared all the time. You know, I'm not saying bad shit doesn't happen, but again, when you have shit gun laws over there, what do you expect? But an acorn falling on a tree, you can't, unless you really whack the volume up, you can't hear it. But it's just a little dink sound. Because there was another video on Reddit before it got taken down where they enhanced the sound just as the dink hits. And yeah, he thought shots fired. And it's like, so two things there. One, you didn't search the suspect when you arrested them and put them into the car. And two, you're a moron.
And why are you barrel rolling?
Yeah.
It must look cool.
You know.
Watching
But
too much Star
he
Trek.
was suspended anyway. He's
won't be
been
fired.
made to leave.
He won't be
He's
fired.
not suspended. Yeah, he's gone because he was a rookie. And so he's gone. I don't know why his partner never got fired either. I suppose her reasoning is that, look, hey, my partner just said this and this, so I just started offloading. Didn't assess the situation.
That's their SOP. If your partner's offloading, that your standard operating procedure, she had to do that. That was in the rules.
Yeah, that's it. Gaz.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, because the thing with gunfire that we don't understand is that it's compressed air. So basically, literally, you could hear that. So he didn't hear that. All he heard was the thing hitting the car. So surely his brain would go, there's no compressed air, there's no flaming gunshot, there's no anything that you would think of as, that's a gunshot. Anything that, like, because a gunshot doesn't just magically appear. It has compression and a lot of other things. I mean, Christine could probably inform us of all the stuff that goes into it, but it's not just simple like beak. And by the way, Rick, I don't hate cops. Actually, I love cops. I have family who are cops. So get to fuck with that comment.
No, but let's explain the reasoning behind all of this, boss man. Like, cops are there's too many corrupt cops, there's too many bad cops, and yes, we need to call on them when we are in trouble. But if they do shit like this, you know, then there's a problem. You know, if they're killing citizens, you know, without a second thought, you know, people who are already arrested, like that guy in the car could have got killed. And then once again, I mentioned George Floyd. You know, then yeah, that's a problem. That you can't say that video is hilarious. I mean, yeah, like your brain is twisted. It's funny when you look back at it now because nothing bad happened regarding anybody getting injured. But it could, you know, but this sort of shit is just not right. Kid could be walking around, irregular people could be moving around, and there's a fucking cop just firing his gun willy nilly. You know, you're lucky not to be living in that country, dude. Or does he? I can't tell.
Bullets don't just stop 20 feet away. The bullet keeps going, and it goes far. So you could be in your home, down the street, in your bedroom.
Oh, for sure, Vance.
And get shot in the head.
Yeah. And the amount of cops who lose their job in one jurisdiction just to get a job in another, it's common. Firearm qualifying is done once or twice a year. They aren't that hard to pass. I got a 95 on the FBI qualifying first time. It should be harder then, you know.
The 5% you got is for not shooting an innocent person. If you shot an innocent person, you'll got 100.
Well, Starfleet admirals don't exist, dude. Yes, you get bad people, but you know what? You need to, when it comes to the cops, you look for the best of the best. You know, you need to really filter out, and the
ratio's too high.
Like there's just too many incidences like this. They happen all the fucking time.
The ratio's too high. Look at the Met Police and the scandals that hit there with the amount of fucking Nazis that were in there. Even one of my local police station, he was fired and investigated because he was a fucking Nazi. You know, and then they sit and they wonder, oh, we need to recruit more Muslim and black police officers. They're like, we did that under Labour, but even under Labour, there was still fucking rampant racial abuse because nobody wants to tackle the police because they're all buddy with the commissioners, and the commissioners like look the other way.
Just stop.
And you saw what happened. Yeah, you saw what happened when Sadiq Khan went after the police commissioner of the Met, and how they came down hard on him. They tried to get rid of him. They tried to like fuck him up because he put pressure on them to fire her, and they did. And they didn't like that, but it just shows you how institutionalized and insular the Met Police are.
Just raise the standards. 2 different units I worked for in the Army really quickly. On a scale of 1 to 10, when you do your entrance exams and interviews, you get a score, right? One unit I went to would never take someone who scored 7 or lower. Another unit I worked in said, we'll take a 6 or above. The difference was night and day between the conversations you would have with people in the mess hall at the end of the day to how they'd work with you during the day. It was leaps and bounds, intelligence-wise, solving problems-wise, just morals and ethics and how they went about their whole entire daily life. So much better. Raise the fucking standards.
I want to quickly respond to this because I've said this before and I'm going to say it again because that's what I do. You could say all blacks are getting arrested more because the ratio is too high. Chelsea Football Club had to give the license plates to the Met Police because their players were constantly getting pulled over by the cops. You know, these rich black guys driving very expensive cars, constantly getting pulled over by the fucking cops because, you know, the cops see a black guy in a fucking expensive car and think, what the fuck, I'm going to pull this cunt over. But they were judging him instantly because they were black. And this was happening to them all the fucking time. So now the Met already know when they look at the license plate that this person's a VIP or a very rich person, hence why they got a car. They're a fucking professional footballer. They leave them alone. They had to be given that extra information in order to leave them alone because apart from that, all they saw was black guy, expensive car. I'm going to pull that fucking cunt over. And that shit was happening a lot with Chelsea football players.
And more blacks are being arrested because black neighborhoods are more highly patrolled because they don't want to arrest white people, even though white people do just as, like I said before, just as many drugs, sometimes stronger drugs than weed.
So, even if you take population ratios out of it, white people do way more drugs than black people. A lot of it is prescribed medication, but they do way more drugs.
Yeah.
Even if you had a similar population, the ratio would be astronomical between the two. Especially when you're looking at heroines and fentanyls and all this kind of stuff. The only reason America started caring about the opioid epidemic is because it was affecting rich white people.
Yep.
If it was black people, they wouldn't have given a fuck. In fact, they would have sat there and gotten tougher on them. But because it affected rich white people and the middle class white people and the suburban white people, that's when it became a problem.
And they don't want to arrest those people, so they just spend all their time and money patrolling black neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So well, I don't know where you're going with this particular comment. I just said to you that they had to fucking tell the police to stop pulling over these particular black guys because they're not what you think might be criminals, because they are stereotyping them for being black and being in an expensive car. There was a reason why they were in an expensive car, because they're fucking rich. But the police were stereotyping them because they saw a black man, expensive car, got to pull him over and see what the hell's going on. You know what I mean?
And on that as well, like again, if you look at like American police, like even it doesn't matter if they're black or Mexican officers, they all get drawn into that culture. That's why it's all cops are bastards. It's not just white cops are bastards. It's all cops are bastards. There's a reason for that, because even if they're black, or they're still there with the same mentality. I'm going to bully and fuck up people and just be a nasty piece of shit. And occasionally one or two might do their job properly. It's how you get caught into the whole thing of it. Here in the UK, it's a different kettle of fish here, because over here our police are nowhere near as bad as they are in America, but there's still a huge number of white supremacists within our police force, and there was a lot of corruption as well within our police force. Okay, and then they sit there wondering why they, and over here blacks and Muslims don't want to fucking go to the police. I'm just going to get abused. It's in America, they'll go there because they're like, yeah, fuck it, I can just beat the shit out of people.
Any
Even
industry,
if I can take it out on other people.
In military as well and shit like that. I mean, some of them do it. I've seen black and Asian people in the military, but there should be more, but they won't, because it's a fucking boys' club.
Yeah. I just want to get onto this comment here. Go on, that's right.
Stereotypes are based on facts usually, so they profile. But no, they're not.
They're not though, Rick. Right. White people commit more crimes than black people and Indian people and all. So why aren't we getting pulled more?
If you're the majority, yeah.
If we do stereotyping, why isn't that stereotyping done? I wonder why.
Well, look, white people are the majority here in London, and yeah, they commit most of the burglaries and car thefts, and breakings and all this kind of shit. Black people are more synonymous with what over here? Muggings, more than anything. But all the other stuff is white people, and London ain't exactly a majority white city. So
and in the States, sorry,
really,
Chris, I need to get this out first. In the States, like the Americans out there, they're so worried about fucking Muhammad and fucking Jose fucking crossing the border when they should be worried about Cletus, because they've got the Ku Klux Klan, an actual terrorist organization, but a lot of them don't give a fuck about that terrorist organization, because those motherfuckers vote and they tend to vote Republican, which is why they don't want to come down on these cunts. There's all these types of reasons, and they are profiling them because they are white and they see a black person, they immediately assume that this person's bad. They've been brought up on that fucking on that shit. It's been in various ways, from jokes to culture. It's all fucking been like that. Black people get repressed, so it's harder for them to come up in this world. It's much more difficult. So when you do see one, you think, why are all black people like that? But they're not all like that, because they're fucking the deck is always stacked against them. And my bird is
on the left. Go on, Christine.
I was just going to say, and besides all of this, the government and big corporations wants us to divide and argue this very thing, so that we don't come together and we don't see that the real problem is that we're forced into poverty, and some of us steal as a result of that. And instead of addressing the reasons behind that, they want us to fight black against white, Muslim against Christian, so they can just be like, oh, we're just going to put our hands in your pocket and take your money, but you won't notice.
That's exactly why they created Jim Crow in America, because because once black people were emancipated, they were equal to fellow white workers, and they were bonding and getting on and forming like unions and progressing in life at a normal rate. And they didn't want that. So what they started doing is they started pitting white workers against black workers, saying, hey, this guy here is, it's ridiculous now that he's your equal. He shouldn't be your equal. He's subhuman, all this kind of shit. And eventually one rolled into the other, and you ended up with Jim Crow. And Jim Crow, the only reason for Jim Crow is for that very reason. It's to stop people being united to take on capital. If you see how black communities got on after emancipation and how quickly they became lawyers and politicians and all this kind of stuff, and the South was like, fuck this, and put a stop to it. with cruel, unnecessary segregation. But this is how it works. You have to understand. You people in the fucking comments need to understand. No matter what we say, okay, and police just help perpetrate, help keep the elite in power. They don't serve you in general, okay? They're there to provoke you, to arrest you, to take away your voting rights. Again, in America, a lot of blacks and Hispanics vote Democrat, so of course they're going to be targeted and arrested as well, because once you get a criminal record, you can't fucking vote in America.
Right.
All right? It's all about division. And we would say, like, I would sit there and argue and say, this is why I don't censor people on here. As much as I joked about it last week with Unicorn, what's his face. All right? I don't censor people on here because that's the wrong thing to do. Be you're on the left or on the right, that's the wrong thing to do to censor people, because you, at the end of the day, we're all fucking working class people here. All right? And I'm united under one thing, and I always say to the left, it's all about the money, Lebowski. I don't really give a fuck about the other stuff. That's why I'm not too PC on things and all that. I don't give a fuck about it. I care more about the money. And when you talk about the money, people are always suddenly on your wavelength. They're like, oh yeah, okay. They just don't know how to get to the end point of what's causing all of that. They keep thinking it's the other thing. But if you just say, hey, look, come with us and we'll make you a lot less poorer, they'll be like, yeah, okay. That's what Bernie Sanders was doing. He was going to deep red states and just explaining to them why they're poor and what the situation was. And Corbyn was doing the same. People were like, oh, yeah, okay. But the problem is, you throw a wrench in there and they're so stupid they just get derailed. And that's the issue we face.
Yes, so often I would see certain people when they've been interviewed and you hear their grievances and they almost got it. They've almost sussed it.
Almost.
But they almost, you know what I mean? So that's the sad thing.
I just want to go back to this comment here from Rick, because this is an outrage. And
leave it up so I can read it.
Yeah, where is it? Let me see.
The CPS.
No, it's the tube one. He said, let me see, where is it? Virtual signal. Ginger. Here it is. Right. Can't believe he wasted. This is
who did?
The London Mayor, Sadiq Khan. He wasted 6 million to virtual signal by renaming some overground stations. Firstly, this was blocked. The original names that made more sense were blocked by Boris Johnson because he just didn't want to do it because he was a useless mayor. Secondly, I couldn't agree more, and I'll tell you why I couldn't agree more. The names given are like the black community just feel absolutely insulted, even though it's a fucking, a mayor who's a decent enough bloke who did it. So one of the lines is called the Windrush line, and there's a whole scandal with people who came up with the Windrush just being deported back to Jamaica, even though
the Windrush line.
Yeah, all this kind of shit. And I'm like, hang on a second. If you really want to capture the essence of London, all right, these lines should be called Wasteman Line, Tennessee Fried Chicken Line, Chili Sauce Post Line, things like that. All right, those are proper London lines, gentrification line, all this kind of shit, and it just follows through the areas that have been gentrified.
Well,
waste of fucking money.
The only thing I knew about all of that shit is when they renamed Southgate to Gareth Southgate for a little while because he did all right as a manager for England.
Yeah, that was fun. That was just changing of a sign.
Yeah, that's all I know. All this other shit, I was totally
line, you know what I mean?
I was totally oblivious to. But now Chris is here. I want to get onto what I said. I had a two-parter thing, and I've seen. And the second, I've already seen this, that link earlier.
Cheeky Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's.
I don't know if you want me to play the TikTok or we can talk about it. It's about
play the TikTok.
It's about America hosting the World Cup.
I didn't see that video. I just added it into the links that you sent
me. Fine. Let me play it 1 second. Yeah. Let's see. Is this the one? Okay.
No, that's the wrong one.
Smoking.
Yeah, this is it. This is the one.
Super thumbs up.
Good on you.
Awesome. Fucking awesome. Are we helping in any way?
Yes.
All right.
Right, what's this now?
All right. And watch us on Twitch as well, you cunts.
World Cup will be the worst World Cup. Another day, another shooting in America. You guys remember how angry people got when they found out the World Cup was going to be held in Qatar? If it's unacceptable for the World Cup to be held in Qatar, then holding it in America should be no question. It shouldn't be done. And it's not because they don't respect the game of football, the best game of all time. It's because they can't even guarantee the safety of their own people. So how are they going to protect millions of foreigners coming in to watch an event? Think about it. America is the most dangerous place in the world in crowded places. So then the American government goes, we should make this the most crowded place in the world for a month and host the biggest sporting event in history. So this stuff is so normalized in America that it didn't even make front page news, the shooting. They care more about Trump's whatever going on in the politics right now than actual people dying. The 2022 Qatar World Cup will go down as one of the best World Cups in history. In fact,
no, it wouldn't.
Following Qatar's lead on how to run
final.
The Olympics. They are now banning alcohol inside the stadium at the Olympics, like Qatar did. Before there was outrage, but now they realize that that is the smart thing to do. Seems like in America, to have a nice day out with your kids, you have to be prepared to take on an armed assailant just to flip and walk down the street. I'm going to finish this video by saying a few words I heard. America is a third world country with a Gucci belt.
Yeah, that saying's about 10
And by the
years
way,
old.
I actually totally disagree with you, Gary. The Qatar World Cup was fucking brilliant. It really was.
It was awesome.
It was
But
awesome.
people died in making it though.
No, I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that at all.
No, we're just talking about the tournament itself. It should never have been held there.
It should never have been held there.
Fuck them.
But
the tournament was great.
And obviously a lot of people fucking died making those stadiums and obviously the country being homophobic and all of that shit, terrible. But there were some silver linings to come out of that, like the alcohol ban, because there was no trouble caused. There was no trouble whatsoever because people weren't getting fucking smashed and smashing up the fucking the areas and stuff like that because they weren't able to, but they weren't fucking able to get any drink. But alcohol is illegal in Qatar.
All right.
And the football itself and the football was superb. Like the game between Saudi Arabia and Argentina when they came back from 1-0 down to 2-1, and then Argentina obviously going to win the final and like one of the greatest World Cup finals I've ever seen. It was a great tournament. There's no doubt about that.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But this guy's a moron, right? They already did the World Cup in 1994.
I know that, but times have changed.
Yeah, but
now,
mass
Gary.
shootings weren't as big back then as they were now.
Yeah, it was.
No, they fucking weren't.
No, they weren't.
I remember.
Yeah, 1999 from Columbine, like that kind of.
But all these school shootings, the school shootings weren't a thing in back then. You know what I mean? Now they're happening all the fucking time. But the point is, this guy makes a great point. The fact that you go to crowded areas and you get the shit shot out of you, whether it be a fucking concert, or in this particular case, a parade for winning the Super Bowl. And there's so many people in America that hate foreigners. The idea of millions of foreigners, of brown people and fucking all types of people.
Fucking limeys are back. Get them.
Not just the limey, but you'll have Koreans and Japanese and fucking various South Americans. Oh my god, they're gonna hate that. Or Brazilians and Mexicans coming in and shit like that. Look, the countries. This World Cup is held by 3 countries: Canada, America, and Mexico. Personally, fuck America. They don't deserve it. Mexico's already hosted the World Cup back in '86. Yeah, and Canada's got enough infrastructure to also help with whatever maybe is lacking in Mexico. Let those 2 countries host the World Cup and throw America out of it.
Mexico has the facilities. Mexico has great stadiums.
But let Canada share it as well. They deserve it too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So let Canada and Mexico do it. Fuck America, because honestly, people like me and you, if we go to the football game and some motherfucker with an AR-15 wants to, decides, I'm going to be hunting some fucking, some foreigners today, some tourists. I'm going to go tourist hunting. You know what I mean, and all that shit. Then it's gonna be like Death Race 2000 with machine guns out there. You know what I mean? It's
They're so stupid. They will just assume, Zam, that you are definitely Muslim, that you're definitely a extreme Muslim, and that you are a bomber of some sort that beats his wife or wives. And
well, if I beat my wife, they'll probably like
you're
me.
not Christian, so they
and it's not just that.
they
But
think that way.
I'm not a Muslim. I'm an atheist. Oh, great!
I know.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you anyway.
I know that, but I'm saying that they will literally think, because they look at you, that those are true. A lot of them will.
No doubt. Like, a lot of them think Vivek Ramaswamy is fucking Muslim. And some of them say I can never vote for him, but I can't forgive people like him for what they did for 9/11. I've heard people say that regarding Vivek Ramaswamy, which is ridiculous. It just shows you how fucking stupid the Yanks are. And on top of that, a lot of them think Sikhs are fucking Muslim as well because of the turbans. They're so fucking stupid out there.
But what I would say is that, like, look, saying that the Americans shouldn't do this, that, and the other. I mean, the thing is, if they make a good enough bid, again, like, I don't think they would be able to get it because they've already held it back in '94.
Well, they're hosting it.
No, they've already got it, for fuck's sake.
Gary, shit. They got it, man. They got it. Canada, America, Mexico are try hosting the World Cup. All three of those countries are hosting it.
Well, it'll be fine then.
No, but they shouldn't be hosting it because that country is a mass murdering hellhole where people are getting shot up on a regular basis. That's the argument that is being made, and it's a fucking good argument because if tourists
and
come
what
there,
about the states in Mexico?
Oh, perfectly safe in Mexico.
It was a bad joke because Dam said that country.
Canada, just give it to Canada.
Then give it to Canada then. If that's the case,
Give it to Canada.
If
They've got more than enough
it's worse in Mexico than it is in America, then I have no problem with Mexico not getting it. Give it to fucking Canada.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You know?
Yeah. I think it's just I going back to the alcohol thing. I'm always an advocate for banning alcohol at sporting events.
I agree.
I know that's a killjoy thing, but it never makes the situation better. It always, it's what fuels all the fucking shithousery. Okay, that's why the Qatar World Cup was so nice and calm, and everyone had a good fucking time. Because there's no alcohol. The Paris Olympics are going to be banning alcohol from the stadiums as well. I think nobody gets rowdy at the Olympics and starts fucking.
No, but it's gonna be different because people can still get tanked up in Paris regardless of going to the games.
In the club. I mean, like,
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, the England fans especially will make idiots of themselves again, and I have to deal with the idiots again.
No, I think you're mistaking UK, and it's not England. It'll be UK with the Olympics. UK Olympic fans with England football fans, and they're totally different kettles of fish.
No, that's what I'm talking about. England football fans.
Yeah, England football fans in the World Cup in America. That's if we qualified for it. We weren't in the last one, so I don't know how we would behave. No, we weren't in the last in the '94 World Cup when we were.
I'm sorry. I thought you were in the last World Cup. No, we weren't in '94 World Cup. No.
And England fans have improved over the years. England fans have improved over the years, but if the England fans, like when we hosted the Euro, or we didn't really host it, but we might as well have, because we were, apart from one game, all the England games were played in London. The final was where I was actually scared, because there's so many football fans who are not used to having their team be top tier, because when you're an England fan, you support all types of fucking football clubs. Whilst most people who support Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, whatever it may be, they're used to seeing their teams play well, used to seeing their teams go abroad. They behave better. But other England fans who support maybe your Plymouth Argyles and your fucking Bristol Cities and your fucking Readings and your Portsmouths and whatever it may be, they're not used to that shit. They get carried away, and that's what it was like in the fucking Euro final a couple of years ago. And if those England fans
can't win the game, they're gonna win. They're gonna win the right.
But the thing is, those same crazy fans are banned from going abroad. But that's abroad. They're in their home country of England, which is why they're able to cause so much shit. But when it comes to going abroad, you're not going to see many of those dickhead fans. If anything, I'll be more worried about maybe the Russian fans or or fans, like maybe the Turkish fans or whatever they may be. I mean, those are the ones that
Well, the Greeks and the Turks that kind of cause all the trouble and things like that. They're not the ones that travel. They can't afford to travel. They're just stupid ultras that are brain dead. Yeah, the Russian ones for sure. Italians for sure. Yeah, but cool.
I don't know. Outside of Europe, what football fans are dangerous, but maybe Argentinians or Brazilians.
Yeah, Argentina. They have like really like. Their ultras are so fucking bad over there that
Colombian ones.
You have to pay, like the Argentinian clubs have to fucking pay them. Like it's like a mafia, basically.
Yeah, I think the Colombian fans are nuts as well, man. I got like proper races when England played Colombia. I got over Facebook. I was having to banter with some couple of Colombian guys I knew through poker, and then their Colombian mates were having a go at me because they see my skin color, they see my name. And they're immediately being racist towards me by saying, "How the hell is somebody like you supporting England?" I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I couldn't believe it," and then yeah. So these Colombian guys, but
they're fucking idiots, man. I mean, I used to get it as well. They're like, "You should be supporting Greece." I do support Greece. I support Greece and England. You can support two clubs, and when it comes to international, you should support.
If you're
where you were
national.
born, and you support your paternal homelands.
Yeah, I'm a dual national. You're a dual national. If Tanzania were involved in more fucking games, I'll support them too. But they ain't. But they're shit. They don't even get qualified for African Cup of Nations. They're that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. Mind if I move on to some good news? Two good newses, and then straight back into the misery. So. Number one, Disney character workers, the ones that dress up as like Goofy, the Daffy Duck, and all that.
Getting a pay rise?
No, they are fighting to unionize now.
Yes,
and they're in motion. They're going to look to unionize. They're going to unionize with some of the like actors unions as well. So it's going to be harder to go after them. And they qualify as actors unions. How they didn't qualify before is beyond me, because that's what they do. They play a character. They put on a mask, they put on a suit, and they play a character. So that looks like it should be going ahead. So I'm happy about that. And my homeland came in kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
Oh, yes.
And it's caused much division, but I fucking love every minute of it. Greece has legalized gay marriage, the first Christian Orthodox country to do so. And oh boy, did we have some fucking fun on Instagram, because Instagram harbors the most disgusting Greeks on the planet. The diaspora Greeks from Australia and America are subhuman scumbags. They are just as bad as fucking Nazis. However, I loved every minute of their rage, calling it, this is a sin. Greece is falling apart, ignoring the complete financial catastrophe. Mongrels, dogs, fucking now being allowed to get married. All the lovely
that old chestnut.
Yeah, that old chestnut. But congratulations to Greece. This was a centre-right government that brought it in as well. They just said, look, you can't stem the tide. Why are we so behind the rest of Europe? And we beat the Italians too, which is shocking, because the Italian has civil partnerships that don't have gay marriage. And that, but it's great. It's caused a lot of division, and the flip side to it might also cost. They just got elected now, but the next election, it might cost the New Democrats their seats. If they get splintered, then the center left and the left parties can kind of come in. So it's nice. Christine,
I got a funny story. When the United States was first voting in their legalization of gay marriage, there was all these Americans just before the vote saying, if we enact that and America allows gay marriage, I'm moving to Canada. And I thought it was hilarious because we had already legalized it for 10 years. So I would always be online when those people would type that shit in and say, yeah, dude, come up here. You can get married right away. You don't have to wait for the vote. We've had it for 10 years. They get so pissed off at that.
I'll move to Mexico. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's ridiculous.
yeah.
I'm never going back to Greece. I'm like, yes, you are. You're always going to go back to Greece. Don't be such a dramatic bitch. No country has collapsed because of gay marriage. Doesn't matter if they're Orthodox. And they're like, you can't call ourselves Orthodox anymore. And like, whatever, bro. Do you?
Some of these like these bigots and stuff are just a bit upset, but a lot of them obviously are in the closet, and now you just made it a little bit easier for them to come out the closet, and not just that, look like hypocrites too, and they don't want to look like that, do they? So they'd rather be repressed and fucking, whip themselves, before going to bed every night because they would like to give themselves self-punishment.
Some people like to be whipped in bed. Just saying.
Yeah. Don't kink shame them, Zam. How dare you?
No. Whip themselves, to the self-punishment of thinking that they like gay people. Because now you made it easy. You made it easier for them to give into temptation by legalizing gay marriage and stuff. You made you normalizing the world.
So if they do cooperative law, cooperatives there, then Michigan might actually financially do well for a change.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's awesome for Michigan. And on to the bad news that everyone saw coming. The UK is in a recession. That's it.
Shit.
That's the news.
So regarding this recession, sorry, Bossman, regarding this news of the recession, did we just find out today? Because I felt like we were in a recession
we found out
for a
week.
long fucking time. Yeah, I think
we found out on Tuesday.
Yeah, but it felt like we've been in recession for forever.
Yeah, it's not a surprise.
Austerity.
Right. I've been waiting 6 years for this. I told you so. Right. I told people when the Brexit vote was going to happen, this was going to happen. I told people what was going to happen. And members of my family were telling me, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I told people, no, this is why, this is what the EU does. You can disagree with what they did. And what they did to Greece, before they did Greece, because it was shit. And they deserve to be a good head start for that. But the common market and the custom union does good things. It was effortless trade between countries you're really close to.
Yeah, for Britain, the EU is very beneficial. For the smaller economies, it's not been beneficial at all.
No, I agree with
you. But this is why I don't argue with the UK. Leaving. I don't like Brexit. It didn't make sense for the UK to leave its biggest trading partner. No. But for countries like Greece, Italy, Portugal, all of them, it just destroyed them. It completely destroyed them. They are now under the yoke of Deutsche Bank, who owns all their fucking assets and is forcing austerity. This is how they were able to derail Syriza's government. Because Syriza came in and said, we're going to end austerity. And Deutsche Bank said, if you do that, if you try that, we're just going to make things 10 times worse. So off you fuck. And so this is why I fucking loathe the EU with a passion. I hate it with a passion. But in terms of the UK, it needs to be in there because it's its biggest trading partner and we benefit from it because we're a big economy. So, there's no, we've been in a recession for fucking ages. They just only now want to admit it because Liz Truss just accelerated it with her great governing for 30 days, 90 days.
Surely Greece would benefit for the common market area of it. I mean, it doesn't benefit for the EU Eurozone policies, but surely the common market makes it easier for you to transport most of your goods which you sell on most of mainland Europe and make some actual money of it because
it's more the euro didn't benefit. The euro didn't benefit Greece.
I absolutely agree.
The common market is a great thing. I mean, there should be frictionless trade with all nations anyway, but as long as it's just not a vessel for corporations to just not pay their fucking share of taxes. But the euro, so basically something that was 100 drachmas, which was like not even 20p or around 20p, the next year became €1. So it went up to like basically from something that was 20p went up to be £1.20. Now that is a huge shock to the system of everyone. And as soon as that happened, I was there and even Tony Blair said it. He goes, the euro is going to be a disaster for Greece. it's going to lead to them going bankrupt, into recession. And this is what happened 4 years after the fact. Greece, after the 2004 Olympics, straight after the good times fucking ended, huge recession, huge austerity. You know, people want to blame, people weren't paying their taxes and all that. Yes, the corruption was there. They didn't have the institutions to go after people paying their taxes. I'm not going to absolve Greece of anything, but austerity doesn't work. Austerity is only there for capitalists. It is there to strip your assets, privatize everything, and so just a handful of people benefit. All the money that would have gone back into the Greek system and paid its debt is not there because it's just been transferred off to the wealthy and the banks and the Chinese and the Russians. So austerity, that's why Portugal turned around and said, fuck you, we're not doing austerity, kick us out if you want to. You know, Greece should have had balls and said the same thing, but they didn't have any fucking balls. They're cowards and they're corrupt pieces of shit that are in bed with the bankers anyway. And that's why it's been everything's been a disaster there. Like, crime has just skyrocketed. It used to be one of the safest countries you can go in the EU.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. It used to be one of the safest countries. Now it's one of the most dangerous. We've let every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the fucking country. Everyone's poor. Nobody's working.
I mean, has anybody in the country ever thought about? Legitimately voted to go out of the Eurozone. Financially, to go back to the drachma.
Yeah, there was huge rumblings to leave the euro. There was huge rumblings, but again, the Americans and Deutsche Bank and the Germans shot that down and said, if you do that, we will destroy you. We will impose sanctions on you. We will, because the EU is not. People think it's like this bastion of democracy. It's not. It's just there to benefit capitalism. It's a neoliberal project. So, again, like Germany, they're like, Germany's now become the second biggest or third biggest economy in the world. And it's like, yeah, but the people there are getting poorer as well. So they're not a fucking,
so the
bastion of anything.
I benefit from it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't give a shit about the economies doing well. What does well is when people are doing well. Nobody's doing well. Zam's hair's gone so grey. Look at it. It wasn't this grey. Yeah. As soon as the recession came in, look how grey he went, the poor bastard.
And not just that, I fucking lost my hair as well. Like, what the fuck?
My God, he's lost it as well.
Pull it out after Brexit.
He pulled it out because of the recession. Damn it.
I'll wear a fucking wig now, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And again, here in the UK, I mean, look, we've got an election coming up. Nothing's going to change. Labour are going to take over, and Labour is like, again, you hate to go into the conspiracy, the Jewish conspiracy, but this isn't a Jewish thing; it's a Zionist thing, and Labour is owned by fucking Zionists now. Like, any small criticism, any raising of awareness of the struggle of the Palestinian people, now they have gone overboard. They are suspending, removing the whip of Labour candidates. Aziz up in Rochdale, they were all campaigning with him. As soon as he made the comment supporting Palestine, that's it. Whip removed. They weren't campaigning for him. They just left him out to rot. Nobody else who campaigned with him got punished. But when it was left-wing MPs that were campaigning with other left-wing MPs, and then they made a comment about Palestine, they all got fucking suspended or whipped and all this kind of shit. And now Labour's in crisis. Labour's in crisis because the hypocrisy, the mass hypocrisy. They're saying, oh, no, this guy who's on the right and with us, and he made comments, he's not an anti-Semite, but all them other ones are massively anti-Semite.
Yeah, all the Jewish flaming anti-Zionists, they're anti-Semitic. I mean, the flaming logic. Sorry.
Exactly. He's kicked out more Jews than any other Labour leader, and nobody's questioning him. Again, when the news and the media don't give a fuck because he's an establishment for the tool. He's a tool for the establishment, so he's a useful idiot. Then they're not going to challenge the hypocrisy. They just wanted Corbyn gone because Corbyn was a threat to capital.
Well, sorry. I was going to say, Alexis Sale has the best quote on this. He says, it's funny that they accuse Jeremy Corbyn, and he says, yet under Keir Starmer, he's kicked up more Jews than Jeremy Corbyn ever did.
Yeah.
Like in the entire 7 years, he said Jeremy Corbyn kicked up two Jewish people there, and it was for them making stupid mistakes, not for finding just that. Exactly.
It's just but the thing is that, like, how I would treat the Zionists now, I would treat them like a foreign threat, because that's what they are, because they are doing the bidding of a foreign country. And I said, if somebody came in and said, because you insulted China, I'm going to remove the whip, because you are pro-Ukraine and not pro-Russia, I'm going to suspend you from the Labour Party, I'm going to remove the whip, there'd be an outcry. They'd be outraged that a foreign government is influencing the politics of our country. The Brexit Brigade people, we want our sovereignty back. Why aren't you fighting against the Zionists then, that are dictating to you what you can and cannot say about Israel? Nothing. Crickets. The fucking hypocrisy is disgusting. A guy get kicked off The Apprentice, and who complains? Again, just showing solidarity with Palestine. And the fucking Board of Deputies, another right-wing Zionist group of fucking cunts, complained and got kicked off The Apprentice.
Hypocrisy. That's right.
No, it's like, just think of AIPAC in America, Labour Friends of Israel, and the Board of Deputies are that. They're just that. They are there to protect the interests of Israel and to make sure that any criticism is crushed. They're literally fascists.
Yeah.
And yet nobody's challenging them.
And yet another example of hypocrisy. They're fascists. And fascists were the ones doing genocide against them 80 years ago. And look at what they're doing now to the Palestinians.
Well, look, the original Zionists were from Germany.
Hypocrisy for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I showed you that clip, didn't I?
Had the same mentality of colonizers of Europe. They wanted the same thing in Palestine, and when they lobbied the British government were like, well, yeah, you're a useful idiot. We'll train up a bunch of your soldiers, send you over there to cause mass atrocities and terrorist acts before 1948, because people think it was just 1948 that happened. But you look at the 1930s and the rampant terrorist attack by Zionist militias who were trained by the British and the Americans and the French, okay? You look at that, which then eventually led to, and not forgetting the false flag attacks that they caused in Morocco and Iran, okay, to get more Jews into the country of Palestine, right? You look at all of that, and then you think to yourself, oh, yeah, no wonder they've been as bad as the fucking Germans, because they loved the fucking shit that happened there. They looked at that as a blueprint, like, yeah, we'll do that to all the Arabs. Doesn't matter if it's hypocritical.
And Hitler
that man is a fascist.
up front about what he wanted to do. He said it. He stood on stages. He said it to the press. He said it to the people. And then the Prime Minister of Israel says that he wants to get rid of all Palestinians. Why don't we believe him? Like,
yeah.
Why is the press not reporting that and saying he's saying it? He means it. He's not hiding anything.
Exactly. It's just rank stupidity. But until these people are chased out with a stick and humiliated and destroyed, I'll say the one good thing though. The one good thing I love about everything that's going on with the Labour Party is that my predictions from a couple of years ago, which if you know your politics, it's not really a prediction, it's just a natural form of event. We're seeing a huge rise in independent left-wing candidates, and they're winning. By-elections, Keir Starmer has lost more by-elections than any other Labour leader. And he's lost it to Greens, like especially council seats. He's lost it to Greens and independents. And, of course, Labour are winning some seats from the Tories as well. But the rate of which he's lost by-elections to independents and the Greens is great. It bodes well for the UK, because the future is looking bright. The future is looking like Labour will be the main right-wing party. The Tories will be decimated. Then you'll have the far-right party like the Reform Party. But then on the left, you're going to have lots of independents, the Greens, Tusk, all these other little things that are going to be impossible to control because there's too many of them. And within a decade, we'll have a legitimate left-wing coalition that could challenge power until, of course, fascism takes full effect in this country and they crush all of that, which is the likeliest scenario. But for now, it's very interesting to watch.
I mean, could you imagine what would happen if we actually got a proper left-wing government here? God, sorry.
Oh my God, the elites would have a fucking meltdown. They'd have a meltdown. But it's if nothing gets in the way, such as basically the fucking fascist wankers that own the capital, if they don't get in the way and they let things progress naturally, within a decade we'll have a left-wing coalition in the country. But it's not how it's going to end up. A coalition of different left-wing parties, but they're all united. I mean, they've united under one banner because unlike America, over here we don't get bogged down in stupid tribal arguments. Like Jessie Gender had to make an apology video because the stuff that she talked about in a previous video didn't take into consideration disabled people and these kind of people and that kind of people and all this. And I'm like sitting there going,
God,
you people are fucking idiots. You're getting bogged down on the wrong thing. This is you're getting bogged down on the kind of
and this is the issue I have with the left, by the way, when it comes to that, because they should understand who's on their side, regardless of them having to mention every fucking little thing.
But that's the American. People need to understand when they say there's no unity in the left, that's exclusive to America. Here in the UK, it's nothing like that. People know the common goal is this: human rights, stop privatization of the NHS, and end poverty. That's it. And that's why they're uniting, they're fighting together, and they were doing this under Corbyn, and they shit their pants. This is why they shit their pants, and they went into overdrive. Christine.
And the best way to do that, not just in the UK, but anywhere, is you don't start with voting federal level. I mean, vote, obviously. But you have to start at a municipal level, because that's how you get your foot in the door. That's how you get in these left-leaning individuals, independents that start, at the town hall level, and then, they can help influence people and then rise to a provincial level or a county level, how you do it, I don't know. And it's odd because it doesn't start from the top up how you think it does in politics.
Never. No. Grassroots. Always grassroots. And that's exactly what's happening here. Yeah. It started with the councillors, and then it's independent MPs, and then hopefully coalitions and all this kind of stuff. Gaz.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that just the end of the video. I mean, I think she made a good point that, like, sometimes people who have disabilities don't get as much with light shone on them as somebody with a disability as other groups, and sometimes they can be good forgotten. So I understood that point, but I do agree with your ultimate point that it was at a detriment of the overall point she was making.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think over here, it's reason why they go into the immigrant problem and the trans problem. They're doing it massively here because they know if we stop focusing on that and we focus on the fact that a lot of people have to use warm banks, have to use food banks, a lot of people are homeless, the increase in poverty in this country. If people focus on that, left-wing governance is going to be a inevitability. Forget what the rich people want. It's going to be inevitability.
Well, yeah, no. I disagree because there's infighting to this day. Trans people, gay people, shit like that. They're still looked upon as the enemy. People still think of them as nonsense and shit like that. Working class people are always misdirected by listening to fucking GB News and Fox News and whatever it may be. We're not realizing that those people who are blaming the others, say that they're the enemy, they are actually your enemy. The people who are misdirecting you, and it still happens to this fucking day. The amount of time people still think foreigners and immigration is still the issue when it isn't, because they don't want to blame the very people who are telling them that. It's still an issue, and sorry.
Yeah, but again, when we're talking left wing here, now there might be a pocket or two that falling for the trans thing, but that's mainly centrists and the right that are falling for that. That's
but in
why...
order to get a left-wing government, you still need people on the right to vote left, and they are always going to vote. You know, it's amazing. Look, Boris Johnson, yeah, he lied to everyone about Brexit when we got it when it went through, and what was his punishment? He became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. You know, like people don't learn. They don't learn. You know, they will keep blaming the wrong people, and they won't have the bollocks to vote for fucking somebody totally different. It'll be better the devil you know. Go back to the good old Conservatives again. Once Labour start fucking up, the Conservatives will look like a fucking dream ticket. You know what I mean? It's just like nobody learns.
But this is what I mean. Like the Tories are done. People know they can't fucking trust them anymore. Who will take their role will be the Reform Party. Hopefully they don't get any seats in the next election. What I said about the left is that, you know, there is a coalition there that it will be small and independent people. And even people like, again, you're right, there are still stupid idiots that are still going to vote against their best interests. But with the next generations coming up that have grown up in Victorian levels of poverty, they ain't fucking voting right wing.
I hope so, but I hope so. But you still have your next generation who you're fucking red pill incel top G loving
for sure. But that's,
you know what I mean, and they're about, man. You know, these are the fucking dickheads.
They're about, but the percentage of them is not as big.
Like that.
Yeah, the percentage is not as big, and those people are poor as well. Now, the one universal thing that everyone in this country agrees on is protect the NHS. Okay, left and right. Everyone's united on that front. And the ones that aren't united are just a handful of idiots that believe the American system is great because they know nothing and they're morons. They don't deserve to breathe. All right. But we're united on that single front. And when you tell people on that single front, people are like, yeah, fuck that. Protect the NHS. Mick Lynch did more to sway the right than any of their own fucking politicians. People looked at Mick Lynch, and because he was given the platform to talk sense and not talk gibberish or virtue signal, this kind of shit, was like, yeah, I fucking get it. And what was the result of that? More people joined unions as a result of Mick Lynch. A record number of people have joined unions in this country because of Mick Lynch. Younger generations who are going to, like, again, even among the right, like, believe it or not, all the fucking anti-immigration stuff and all this kind of shit, it only works to a certain extent. The poverty is so bad in this country that people just want out of that. And they're going to prioritize that more than they're going to prioritize about stopping the boats. Because it's getting to a point now where, like, people need to understand the level of poverty in the UK is unprecedented. Not since the Victorian times have we seen this level of poverty. And people know that they can't keep this up. And the kids, Grant, that's why I said in 10 years' time, it's going to be completely different. Because those kids that have grown up in this abject poverty that can't afford to eat are going to grow up pissed off and better educated to know why, because of because of social media, they're understanding what's causing all this kind of shit, and they ain't gonna fucking vote for no Reform Party or Tory Party or the Labour Rights. Yeah, Christine.
And it's not going to work every time, but we can help that along. And the way you do that is when you come across someone like that is right leaning and is influenced by faux news, you don't just jump down the throat immediately. You'll listen to them, and then every time they say something, ask them why. Ask them, questions, and get them to come to their own conclusion that, you know what, perhaps what I've been brainwashed to think isn't actually correct. And eventually, and not every time, I've done this to people, they'll start asking you your opinion now. And that's when you bring up stuff, and you don't do it in an adversarial type way, but you're like, well, this is what I believe, and this is why, and this is what I've seen as a result. They start going, holy shit, you're right.
Yeah.
And you just have to do...
From the 10 people, if you get through to one, it's something. It's better than nothing. You're never going to win everyone over. I mean, you've got stubborn people we see in the comments here that no matter how many times we repeat the evidence, they're just not listening. They want their biases confirmed. It's like, Yeah, it doesn't work like that. We don't sit here saying one thing without a reason. We're not the ones that come on here and spout stuff unless, you know, with no basis in evidence. You can always go and find it. It's all fucking there. You know,
I'm just
yeah, go on, Sam.
I really wish I had your guys' optimism, because I've been burned too many times. And you know, back in the day when I was an atheist YouTuber, and all of us were sprouting the obvious to make people understand, you know, the stupidity within, whether it be religion or politics, just the stupidity with the like debunking people, owning people, destroying them, you know, all of this sort of shit. You would have thought that we would be going in the right direction just on that alone, with our little bit of activism that we would hope would be a ripple effect on the rest of the fucking world. But that wasn't the fucking case.
It was.
No, really?
Yes.
Because I don't think I don't see things getting any better, Chris. You know,
no, nothing's going to get better yet. Nothing's going to get better yet. But again,
sorry,
you
I
have
just
to
want to say really quickly. I've had a lot of people come to me later and say, you know what? After watching your videos for years, I finally, you know what? I think I knew it the whole time. I didn't believe what my parents had brought me up in. I just needed to hear it enough times in a certain way. And it wasn't just your channel, but other channels. And I don't believe anymore. And I do want to base my life in truth. And my morals are good because they're meant to be good, not because I have a threat of going to hell anymore. It's just the right thing to do. And it doesn't happen in every case, Sam, but I've seen it happen a few times. So it is good.
I'm not that. I guess I'm not doubting that. I myself never needed convincing. I always knew it was bollocks in the first place.
Yeah,
I just needed reassurance. I just needed reassurance that I wasn't the only one who thought like this, which is one of the greatest thing about the internet, because for a long time I was alone. Yeah. And then I realized that I wasn't alone. There was other Muslims who thought like ex-Muslims who thought like me and all of that. But that probably one of the best things to come out of, you know, as things progress. But I still feel like I'm a minority. I still I mean, as much as like things like gay rights and transgenderism and stuff like that, I almost feel like the time when we were progressing and now we're regressing. You know, like
no, we're progressing. It's just harder.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what, look, Zan. I'll tell you. Here's a positive note to take from this shithousery. Any Republican or right winger that ran on the platform of abortion and trans rights lost. They lost because the majority of right wingers don't actually give a fuck. A lot of them, you know, you hear the vocal minority that are like babbling on and all this kind of shit, but the majority of them are like, I'm still poor. How does this put food on my table? And you also, again, for the UK, all right, because I want to bring this back home. Under Corbyn, look how the schools, how the kids ran to him, flocked to him, how many young people. He had a record number of young people vote for him. Okay, unfortunately, it was in the cities, which they already have a strong Labour contingent anyway. But the record number of young people that he got to register and took an interest in politics, and that momentum has not died. They try to bury him. He's still there. Mick Lynch, like I said, he's helped massively. Zara Sultana, who is the most ballsiest MP. I fucking love this woman. I love this woman with a passion, because she is not only carrying on the torch of Corbyn, she's exceeded him. She's way tougher than him. She's just like, and she's got loads of people on her side. And I've noticed in the last decade, the rhetoric on Facebook and Reddit and all of this within British groups, how their rhetoric has changed, how much more they understand the politics of it. Because remember, I always say the English are the dumbest people when it comes to politics. And I still stand by that.
I agree. I just need to start seeing certain things. Like, I'm 46 years old. My entire life, I've grown up under Thatcherism, you know, major, the New Labour Party, which was basically, they called themselves New Labour because they were right, they were centre right. These motherfuckers still went to war when America came calling in the first Gulf War, they gave us fucking student loans for fuck's sake. What Labour Party would never do that? But they did, you know, and then the other right-wing governments came after Gordon Brown. Like, I just, you know, we had Brexit, for fuck's sake, you know, like, you know, you see certain countries turning back the clock, you know, would it be not, I know there's other countries, but, you know, like Russia, like Hungary, you know, and all of these sort of things. And I'm thinking,
like abortion rights in the States, it's very scary.
They're really going hardcore into conservatism, you know, when it comes to turning back the clock. They're burning fucking books, for fuck's sake, and they want to stop teaching certain bits of history.
Yeah,
I really need. I know we've had some wins. But I really need more than just some wins, because I think it's like a fucking tug of war. Like we go that way, then we go that way, we go that way. Like, I really want to see left-wing politics just kill it, and I'm not seeing enough of that.
That's impossible though, because like you've got a lot of right-wing channels in Britain that are against that. Like, for example, I'm not just talking about the GP News.
They're all against it, dude.
No, but like for example, trigonometry, for example, and people like that have got it into their heads that they're this counterculture flaming right wing, and we're the ones who say stuff that people are too scared to say. No, you're just bigoted tossers. That's what you are. But they're promoting and the thing is, they're doing that for a purpose, and that's because they know they're losing ground, and the ground's just going shifting, moving, and they're scared. Because they can see it coming. Because the tide's coming, and they can either be set up with it or they can leave.
I'm not getting any younger. I just really want to see this happen before I become a miserable old man, which I'm already getting to right now. You know?
Well, yeah. Again, nobody here can make promises, because as quick as the tide can come, the bourgeoisie can come in with their guns and fucking level the playing field as much as they want. But let's look at Bristol. Bristol's historically been Labour. It's about to become Green. Okay, that's another seat.
That's what Labour should be, the Green Party. You know what I mean?
That's what it should be, but they're not. They're now the Tory Party. But it's little things like that, but it's going to snowball over the decade, because Labour are going to come in. They're going to be a disaster, and people are just going to be like, okay, well, fuck the main two parties. Then they're going to fraction off into like smaller right-wing parties, smaller independent left-wing parties, and all this kind of shit. And you're just going to have a microcosm of smaller parties. It's just going to make the battlefield a lot more interesting as well. And, you know, the Greens have taken a record number of council seats in their entire fucking history, because all of those people were ex-Labour that were left-wingers, and they went and joined the Greens. And so there are a lot of Green councils around.
I just look at it as just that they're staying the same, because what Labour has obviously shifted to the right. They still want to be part of they want to still have like sort of like left wing policies, which is what the Green will definitely offer. You know, if you see what I'm trying to get at, that it only went Green because Labour is no longer what it once was.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. What does that matter? They left
they're
Labour,
the same, but as people, they're still the same people.
But they're left wing. The Greens have always been centre left. All right, but that's the good thing. It doesn't matter. They're left wing, and the minute the Greens went, as soon as the Greens, because people were iffy with the Greens.
No. Sorry. What I'm trying to say, but what you said about Bristol being Labour, now they're Green. The people of Bristol have always just been the same. Just the parties have changed, and they've only adjusted to the party that still meets their values. It's not like all of a sudden Bristol became left. They were already fucking left. That's why they voted for the Labour Party, but now they're voting Green because Labour Party's become right wing. Their values have not changed.
I don't doubt that, but that's one seat taken away from.
Oh yeah, I get you from that. Yeah, I get you from that perspective. Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that yes, Bristol's always been left wing, but the fact that it's no longer a bunch of lefties under the yoke of the right wing Labour Party, they're now under a left wing party. It makes Labour's job a lot more difficult going forward, because they're not winning over the arguments of sensible neoliberal policies and all of that. So, you know, it's the small victories here and there that will eventually, mount up. Yeah, Christine.
And every time you hear Faux News and other programs like that attach themselves to, anti-trans and stuff like that, that's just a way of knowing that they're grasping at straws now. They have no real arguments. They have no other way to win than trying to scare people. So what I do is try, at least when I have the energy, when someone brings that to me, is to educate without being angry. Because if you're angry at someone, they're not going to listen. I'm not saying I'm successful at doing it every time, because I get upset. But
and also it's good to set your boundaries as well. Like my boundaries with my friends, they know my boundaries. I said I will not under any circumstances talk to them about trans people. I will not talk to them about woke stuff. I will not talk to them about culture wars. I said to you, want to talk to me about fiscal stuff, finances, poverty rates, housing crisis, come to me for that. But if you're going to come in here and parrot right-wing talking points from GB News and all that, the buck stops here, because I'm just going to call you a dumb idiot, because that's what you are, because it's not your opinion. I said 10 years ago, you didn't know shit about trans people. Now you're a fucking expert. Fuck off. So I said, you want to talk to me about finances? Yeah. We'll talk about finances. So now my friends, my own friends, know my boundaries, so they don't talk to me about those issues, because they know I'll just shut it down and we only talk finances. So when we talk finances, they fucking understand, because there's none of the other background noise going on there disrupting them. We'll say, no, when you privatize things, all the profits don't get put back into the system. They go to 3 people, for example. And those 3 people, I'm putting that money anywhere but their own pockets. And that's why things get destroyed. And they get that.
And you don't even have to talk to, if they bring up the subject, you don't even have to really, other than say, this is just a ploy to divide us. It's not the real issue, and bring up the money thing like you just said.
The money. Anytime. With right-wingers, I will always say it's all about the money. I don't care. I don't care if you're a racist. I don't care. That stuff is shitty, but you come united under one front. Like in France, for example, when they wanted to do pension reforms, the French came together, left wing, right wing. They all came together, they rioted, and they put an end to that. That's all it is. You focus on the money, you can become united. If you want to go off into your little corner afterwards and call people N-words and all that kind of shit, as long as we're prospering together and you're not trying to hurt anyone, I don't give a fuck what you do in your house. But when we come together, it's all about the money. And that's all that matters. Because when everyone's rich and prospering, well, not rich, but not worrying about finances and everyone's doing well, you think, oh, I'm not that angry anymore. Oh, I'm not pissed off with my neighbor. Oh,
I don't have to blame someone else. I don't have to blame.
I don't have to blame someone.
Yeah.
I know that the rich is responsible. And that's the other thing. People know that the billionaires are responsible for all of this as well. You get your simps, but the majority of people, they get it. They're starting to understand it. And that's, as long as you say, just talk about the fucking money, people will be on your side.
8 men in this world have more money than 3.8 billion people on this planet.
Yeah, that's just
crazy.
I mean, the biggest thing, though, that I'm really cross about is the fact that people in this country, literally who live here, profited from people being sick and used it to get PPE that nobody could use, and it's sickening. Let's put all those people who did that should be in jail. I'm sorry, I'm very fervent about this because they should be.
Well, again, if you read Disaster Capitalism by Naomi Klein, she goes into all of this stuff about how anytime there's a disaster, the rich profit enormously. Corporations profit enormously because they get a bunch of money from the government to say, we're going to do all of this, and they don't do nothing. They just keep the money. Or their friends will give them money under the pretense that, it's for this purpose, i.e. PPE loans, or to run a COVID center and all of that. But their real incentive is, just take the money. It's yours. Socialism for the rich. They love socialism.
No one will notice 6 months down the line because we'll put something else in the news because we basically run the newspapers anyway. And people will forget that we gave you all this money anyway. So just take it.
Exactly. And the only time you're going to find out about it is if it's the friend of a politician that they don't like. So, for example, if it's Boris Johnson's friend and they wanted to bury Boris Johnson, they suddenly highlighted that.
Yeah.
Now that Rishi Sunak is reviled by his own party, the news is telling you about how his wife, his company has profited greatly from all the crushing of green deals here. Infosys, which is a huge, is a company that kind of has shares in all these oil and gas and all this kind of stuff. And, the Prime Minister's wife and him have profited greatly off of it. But they'll only tell you that when they don't want them there anymore. So you could be angry against them, even though they enjoyed every minute of the profits they fucking made. So, yeah. Anyway,
listen, guys. I think one more. I just want to get to, and then
okay. Sorry, man.
It's just Daniel Vance. He mentioned a lot earlier regarding Trump, or to pay $350 million fine and barred from businesses in New York as a result of the civil fraud case.
Lovely. Maybe
we can get thingy on this one as well. I don't know anything about this. Maybe you guys can fill me in.
No idea. I just said no idea.
So Trump had the civil fraud suit was brought against him in New York. This was to do with the profiting that he made as a president when you're not supposed to be and all this kind of stuff. And so they took him to court on that. It's a civil trial, so it's not like he's not going to go to jail. But
of course not.
Apparently he must have just lost it and ordered to pay back almost $500 million. And has been barred from doing businesses in New York. So fantastic.
They'll never see that money, but at least he's banned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's fucked. Hopefully that means Jared Kushner will be fucked as well, because he's a dirty little fucking landlord cunt as well. But cool. All right then, guys. Sam, is there anything else before we move on?
Well, just one comment here from Daniel Vance. 3 hours ago, I could see my lawn. Now I can't even see my neighbor's house. It's snowing so hard. Fucking yeah, he's in Ohio, isn't he? Like you, Cheetah.
Yes.
Is it snowing there? Is it snowing there too?
Yep, it started just a little bit ago.
Come to my house.
Yeah.
Hey, Zam.
Yeah, but you're Canadian, so yeah.
Zam, I don't know about you, mate, but I was in my garden earlier wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice day today and yesterday.
Earlier this week. It was in the 50s here. So you guys are getting what we had.
Yeah, I picked up my cousins. One of my cousins from Stansted the other day, and he's from Iceland, and he's like loving the fucking weather here. It wasn't too cold at all. I mean, when it starts to get cold to warm, and it's like just a few degrees warmer, you can actually not wear a coat. It's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, I was just in my garden, the sun beaming down. Wearing a t-shirt, it was like 14 degrees over here. Yeah, suck it, Chris.
I could go snowshoeing if I want to right now. That's not a brag. That's just how it is.
This is how it is. I hate the snow. I hate it. I like it if I'm not working and I'm on holiday or something like that and it snows. It's lovely. But when I'm working and because of my legs being really bad, I hate the fucking snow.
We come to a standstill in this country.
Fuck out. Exactly.
We come to a standstill in this country.
Handle half an inch of snow.
But I do like snow when it's Christmas time. I don't. Because for me, like one of the reasons I think one of the fundamental Christmassy feelings you need is that snow. When it's not snowing, it doesn't feel Christmassy at all. That's why I went to Iceland so many times, because it always felt like Christmas out there.
You just want to fuck Santa.
I got a lot of birds.
You break down with an inch of snow. We just got a foot.
Yeah, this country comes to a complete standstill.
This city, definitely.
Yeah, and I hate it when it snows as well, because the roads get absolutely ruined, so and it just costs us.
You don't change your tires in the winter?
We don't have such a thing as winter tires here.
No tires?
No such thing. I have chains. I bought chains for my car. because last year I got stuck in the snow and I had to do some fucking world-class driving to get out of it. I was going literally sideways to get out. And I got rope from my car, and I fucking tied it around my tires for that extra grip, and I was just going sideways to get out because I had to go because it was to my nephews. They weren't well. Nobody was well, so me and my mum had to go. We had no choice, but it's all hills to get there, and I got stuck on a hill. I started rolling back, so I was just like, well, we're fucked because it's hills either way. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go sideways, get the rope around the tires, and off we fucking went. But after that, I was like, right, I'm just gonna get chains for that one day. It's gonna snow. You never know.
Every day if I leave the house with the car in the wintertime, I go sideways on purpose because I have to do basically what would be normally a 3-point turn. So I back up and then back forward, and then I want to go out the driveway. But when the tires are turned and I'm hitting the gas, I just use that and my car goes sideways. And as soon as I'm straight, like I do this on purpose, and then I can drive out
straight out. Yeah, it's great because there's no friction there, so you just yeet out you go.
Yeah,
awesome. It's just like a Bourne movie.
Yeah, make Fast and Furious look like a bunch of pansies. Oh, Tokyo Drift my ass, mate. This is London Drift.
Just so you know, my electric car is actually I'm not sure about my current one, but my 2021 model, when it was snowing, it was really shit. When it came to me having to reverse back up a hill because the road was closed, the police told me to reverse back up, and I told the police my car's not reversing back up in the snow, and so the police made an exception for me to go straight ahead because they just felt sorry for me.
Yeah, you were just trapped. There's nothing you could do.
Yeah, nothing I could do, and I had my fucking foot down, and I'm not moving for shit. You know what I mean? Yep. So I'm really hoping, when it comes to snow, electric cars improve. Now I've got a 2023 model. So hopefully that car is better in the snow than the one I had 2 years ago. So we'll see.
Right. I was just going to say, we had a fleet of cars, obviously, in the Army. And one of the things they tried to do, we had civilian vans. They wanted to make them propane. If you know anything about propane in cold weather.
Really?
It's not a good idea. And
I think propane
basically, you go like an hour north of Toronto, and no, not going to work.
Yeah. Well, winter storm in Atlanta years ago, and my job was open, and I lived within walking distance. First people showed up on snowmobiles. Snowmobiles in Atlanta. Like, that's fucking mental. Talk about like overkill. Why did they have snowmobiles?
Just in case.
Did they just buy them for that one day that it snowed out there? That is hilarious.
Yeah, they must have been going like you're insane, and the still days goes, who's the insane one now?
Yeah, exactly. For that one day.
I've never driven a snowmobile.
No, me neither. I'd love to.
Me neither.
No, I've done quad bikes, I've done jet skis and all of that, but I've never done that.
We've got a quad.
Yeah, awesome. Love quad bikes. Fantastic.
I
went flying off of one.
In the right hand corner, so let's...
Yeah, we was racing, went on a stag do up in Scotland and was racing, and because again I'm a crazy driver, and I hit somebody's wheel. My wheel hit their wheel, and so it flipped my quad bike. I went flying off, and I landed on the tires and just bounced back off the tires back onto my feet like nothing happened. It was like a sketch out of The Simpsons. I quickly overturned my quad bike and carried on, but I was driving, pissing myself laughing because everyone's sitting there going, how the fuck did that happen? I'm like, I don't know, but it was a lot of fun bouncing off the tires like Homer Simpson. You know, when Ed throws Homer out the burning house and he hits the mattress and goes back into the house. It was kind of like that scenario.
You're very lucky. You're very lucky. They're dangerous. Yeah. They're very dangerous.
Yeah, it almost killed my favorite actor of all time, Rick Mayall. He got
And
crushed by that.
Ozzy Osbourne had an accident on one, I think, too.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
You wore a helmet though?
Came back to Professor Cheeto. There you go.
Did you wear a helmet?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We had protective gear. I had armor plating. I don't know what else you call it. Armor plating. All the necessary gear, helmets, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I didn't fucking feel anything. My brother. I don't know what happened, but he drove just straight into a bush without turning. For some reason, he didn't turn. I just see him just kind of, what's he not doing? What's he not doing? He goes, I just lost concentration. I don't know what happened. Straight into a fucking bush. Oh, it was the best time. That's what made me fall in love with quad bikes. I was like, yes, these things are just stupid, but hilarious. Now then, moving on to TV and film. We're going to be talking about, Cheeto, what do you want to start with?
To me, my Brexmen.
All right. Shall I get the trailer?
Sure. Or do you want me to get it?
I'll get it because I want so I can pause and talk about certain things. So
we've already seen the trailer. We don't need to see it again.
Yes,
says Mister. Let's watch two TikToks again.
So we can just page through the trailer. Like we don't have to watch it, but just like page through it.
Yeah, we don't need to see it again. We've already seen it. We know what it's all about, Ginger.
Yeah, I know exactly. But unlike you, I'm not going to repeat the trailer. I'm just going to pause at certain scenes.
Yeah, you're still repeating it. We've already seen it. However you want to fucking say it. You know what I mean?
I haven't.
Yeah, I know you're there to say it, but when you say it doesn't make any sense because you're.
No, I'm just saying it. No, I'm just saying you're a hypocrite.
Well, we all know that.
Yeah, we all know that.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? All right, I'll play it.
And I have no problems with you repeating it. By the way, I'm just calling you a hypocrite. That's all.
I know.
Yeah.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I'm grateful to have the chance to say goodbye. I am proud of you all.
Gambit, so was a hit, that man.
Fate lies in our hands now.
Dude, I do like this Marvel animation logo though. I know it's Marvel, but I like it. Marvel animation just needs to get their head out of their ass.
The professor entrusted us with his dream.
Just stop making feeling what if and make more than
No matter how dark it is.
I didn't mind What If.
We must believe in each other.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, Bob, keep buzzing in my ear.
What's
I'm not
line?
I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
Heads up!
Oh, there's a thing everybody's losing their shit about. Is Rogue's ass not being.
I do the
To me, my X-Men.
Oh, I love that part. Listen, I've watched this like 1,000 times, and I still get goosebumps every time Cyclops says that.
Magneto.
Still over a month.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier.
I love how Jean's just there like,
Everything he
hey, I'm
built
pregnant.
Now belongs to me.
Fuck you up.
Why the fuck would Magneto leave everything to? Sorry, what Xavier leave everything to Magneto?
Because that's the relationship they had. Like, I mean.
Yeah, but they were fighting all the time, man. Like,
well, but they still had immense respect for one another. You know,
I thought he would have left everything to Jean Grey and or Cyclops. Jean Grey being his prodigy. You know what I mean?
At the time, so if I was to hazard a guess in this particular thing, he probably wrote his will and testament years ago when they were still friends before the schism happened.
Well, and keep in mind, in season 2, they kind of rekindled that friendship almost.
They rekindled that in the Savage Land and all this kind of stuff. And again,
I remember that.
Although they had opposing views, they still had tremendous love for each other, like always. You know,
yeah. It happened in the comics. It was fine because Magneto went with it. He just went, "Do you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna go against my beliefs because I want honor what Charles asked me to do. and he did
Yeah.
the best of his ability.
This kind of takes place. Forget the time it takes place, but it's taken from the Claremont kind of 80s era of the comic books. Again, you see with Magneto and that great big ridiculous suit he was wearing with the big M on it, and he took over the X-Men for a while. And Chris Claremont wanted to keep Charles Xavier dead. It's just the higher ups shot that down. The beauty with Chris Claremont, and this is why he's one of the greatest writers of all time, because he was very, very controlling of the X-Men. He wanted to make sure that they weren't thrown into 100 different books and they just had one or two continuous stories. That's why, like in the 80s, you just had Uncanny X-Men, and then you had X Factor, which was when the original cast of X-Men went off and did their own thing. And he made sure that everything wasn't bloated, convoluted. There wasn't 50 different origin stories and people just putting in whatever they wanted. If they were going to show up in another person's comic book, it had to make sense and be within the structure and the timeline of the continuation. And that's what made Claremont the goddamn beast of beasts. It was then in the 90s when I think it was like when whoever came in and they were just like, nah, fuck that. Here's 50,000 different X-Men comic books because
that's the problem with X-Men is that it got way too convoluted. They did the same thing. They did the same thing with Spider-Man. They did the same thing with Avengers. I mean, it got to the point where, and I mean, I don't mind having separate teams. Like, honestly, like X-Men Blue and Gold, honestly, was a good split because they didn't cross them over. Like when you were Blue and Gold, like that's what you were in, and you really weren't in that other comic book, from what I remember. So
yeah, that's it. There wasn't much crossover. You also had like X Factor, which was the government wing of mutants, which made sense, and then you had X Force, which was a kind of more like a
morally gray.
Yeah, more in the kind of gray area and all of that. But then you had
Cable, right? Was Cable leading X Force in that one? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Cable was leading X Force in that one.
Yeah,
and all this kind of stuff. But I just want to just knock on a few things here in the trailer.
Although, while you're bringing that up, I do think they did bury the lead though with the whole "To Me, My X-Men" thing. Like that's like Avengers Assemble. Like that is literally like the line, at least for me. Because that's what Xavier would say. He would say, "To me, my X-Men." Maybe not so much in the cartoon, but in the comic books, that's what he. That would be the call line.
So Cyclops will end up taking over. I like the fact that fucking Magneto feels like he doesn't need to wear the helmet anymore, even though Jean Grey is formerly the Phoenix, is super fucking powerful. But fair enough. He feels like, well, there's other telepathic fucking mutants out there, but he feels confident enough to take his helmet off now. Which is an interesting thing. That hairstyle needs to go though, man. Fucking hell.
So in the comic books, he did the same thing. As soon as Charles died, he took off the helmet because he didn't need it anymore. Because again, at that time, he
wasn't worried about Jean Grey. He wasn't worried about her.
No, I think she wasn't there at the time. I think when it happened, because this was around about the time of the Phoenix saga, and she was dead or gone, and all this kind of stuff. So I think so. I think that's why. But yeah, so here we just quit. So this is so you see two characters here. That's Callisto and Leech. Maybe Sentinels are coming back. Mute this. We don't need to see. This one was interesting here.
The Daily Bugle.
Yeah, so we had the Daily Bugle. It's Spider-Man and Mutant. The Hellfire Gala. So obviously we're going to have the Hellfire Gala Club, and that plays into.
Please make J. Jonah Jameson flaming J.K. Simmons, please.
No, not in the cartoons. No, in the cartoons they have
the original actor that did the cartoon voice.
Yeah, they have a really good. Like, I love J.K. Simmons. Don't get me wrong. I love J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, but the also the animated actor they have for J. Jonah Jameson is fantastic.
Was he the one in the Spider-Man video games?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So again, here we have. So I think these guys are just dressed up as mutants that you see here. Because
like Banshee
originally, I thought so. The woman in the hijab. This is Dust from New Mutants. Obviously, Banshee.
But I wonder if that's actually Dust, though. I mean, because she hasn't.
What I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I thought
That's what I mean.
I thought you said it was just somebody dressed up as her, and I'm like, yeah, but she hasn't shown up in the animated series. She wasn't even created until what, the early 2000s, right? Or was
Yeah,
she
the
around before
2000s.
that?
Yeah. The New Mutants, the new kind of roster of New Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is good. So, and look, you see here a story by Eddie Brock. So we should get another Spider-Man crossover. I mean, it's not out of the realms of impossibility.
Well, they had a crossover episode, or at least in Spider-Man, they had a crossover episode.
Yeah, a couple of times the X-Men showed up in that.
Mm-hmm.
The X-Men have been in other stuff, and the other stuff have been
But
in the X-Men.
I think it's a part of the same continuity too. Like, I think they made it like, hey, the X-Men and Spider-Man animated series are in the same continuity.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. So here we have the Friends of Humanity. That's what the FOH is. So I like that.
Yes, Friends of
This is
Humanity.
going to be front and center. These are your MAGAs. Back to where you came from. Evolution is a lie. There's a little sign that's just off of camera there.
Yeah, perfect.
This kind of stuff. No more mutants. Which again, this is how the X-Men was like. It was born out of the civil rights movement in America. So seeing this is going to be nice. I hope they lean a lot into this and go dark with it.
Before you move on, apparently somebody has said that that they've ruined the 90s cartoon by going super woke with it now. I went, what?
Yeah, these people aren't X-Men fans. They don't know shit. It's supposed
No,
to be woke.
they're complaining because Rogue doesn't have an ass anymore, and it's like, come on, like that is. I mean,
well, that's outrageous. I mean, come on. I mean, I agree with them there. When I'm looking at my animation, I need ass.
Well,
Yeah,
is there a space between her back and her legs?
Yes.
Well, she is an ass then.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people are like they did in the 90s. They made her very voluptuous in the certain areas, and
they made it that Southern Belle that you can't fuck, because if you do, she'll kill you'll die from fucking her.
And so they made her a little bit more. I don't want to say reasonable, but like believable, in my opinion, in the animation style nowadays. And it's like, and I'm fine with it. But now people are losing their minds about this stupid shit.
I can't jerk to it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, look. This was the work of art that we used to have. Okay, and
you're gonna say Ginger to get very excited though.
This is what we used to have, and this is what we ended up with. This is what we want.
I just love Christine's face.
It seems like I would take the chance.
That's just not possible.
I don't think
Slap
a
on a
Pop would
condom?
take the chance.
No, I know somebody who's got that kind of figure.
No. Listen, man.
Those are implants. They gotta be. It's gotta
No,
be
they're-
implants
well,
or padding.
No, she was all real, baby. This was
she,
before Brazilian butt jobs and all this kind of stuff.
is she wearing padding?
Who?
No.
Rogue or the
All
person I
natural.
know?
The person you know.
No.
She's
Yeah.
Now, so
There
the
you
person
go.
I know was blessed in the bottom and in the top, but like she did get lipo in the middle. So she got a little bit of lipo in the middle. So, but I mean, like she's like, yeah, now she's like super skinny, but like she still has the ass and rack, and it's like, okay,
And with the lipo, it's
I
gonna
think it
make
was
it
those
even
single.
more.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
noticeable. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just get on here.
Yeah,
So-
Christine, let's quit objectifying people. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I want to see what Rogue's
Hey,
ass
we
looks
see-
like now. I'm super curious.
What?
In this trailer, did we get a good look at her ass in this trailer?
Well, I think they released character like bios or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you do get to see her ass in one, like her butt in one shot.
I love the Sentinel arm there. That's so fucking awesome.
Hey, we're talking about asses. Quit talking about the actual trailer.
Does it have like
Can I talk
start
about the
ticket?
fucking trailer now? Enough about arses, and this is coming from an arse, man.
Well, if it's part of the artwork and drawings, I mean, it can be part of the discussion. I mean,
The hand on
Yeah,
that that Sentinel, does it like is that Stark tech? You know, on the palm.
No.
This was done by Trask. Is it Trask Industries?
Oh yeah,
Oliver
Trask
Trask.
Industries.
It was
yes, yeah,
Traskin, yeah.
Oliver Trask. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Were any of the Avengers in? I know the Team Avengers wasn't in, but we're like Iron Man, Captain America was in X-Men.
An episode of Wolverine when it
Yeah.
was set in the park.
Yeah, I was about to say there was something with Captain America. I don't know
Well,
about
the
Iron
others
Man
were-
though.
In a Spider-Man
because they were
episode,
D-list. They were so irrelevant in the 90s.
This is
in
true.
a Spider-Man episode, Captain America and Storm joined Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
Fight some bad guys.
Yeah, well, and they were
Yeah.
also a part of Secret Wars too. Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Spider-Man comic, they were a part of the Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Just
Christine.
one more point about the asses. I mean, have every size of ass possible. I mean, you know, life is just so diverse. Have everything, and don't limit it just to big asses, but have small ones, medium ones. Like, have everything.
Well, this is Disney, so they can't objectify anything.
This is
to male,
a couple of things. I think maybe what it is as well, TLD, is that when they finally have to film, cast a real Rogue, when they do the X-Men properly, they maybe want somebody who's a bit more realistic, which is why they're changing her image
Why?
now.
Anna Paquin was curvaceous as fuck when they cast her.
Plus,
She felt
you
nothing
have
like the
padding.
Rogue from the cartoons.
You
No,
can
she
add
was shit
pad.
casting. But she was
Yeah,
thick.
she was.
You can add padding too, right?
And Anna Paquin felt more like fucking Raven from the DC universe, the way she was dressed. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I'm not arguing there, Zam. I'm just saying by X-Men 3, she was like proper curvy in it. She was still a bad choice to play Rogue. Like fucking again, I've banged on about Bryan Singer's terrible casting choices. He only got about 2 or 3 right. That would be Xavier, Magneto, and Wolverine. The rest,
Honestly, well, but let's look at it. I mean,
Wolverine was wrong, but became
Wolverine
right.
was wrong. Like he grew into that role. Like he grew in. Like we accepted it because he was so good in it.
Yeah.
But like no, like in the like Wolverine was a bad casting. Hugh Jackman's way too tall. He was not
1
beefy
foot.
enough back then.
and he was very skinny as well. He
Yeah,
wasn't
that's what I'm saying. He
muscular.
wasn't beefy at all. So I mean, I agree. Like I don't think Wolverine was that great of a casting. Now he grew into the Wolverine we all love, you know, but still.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
It was
But again,
only his height. For me, it was only his height to begin with, and then he did grow into it. You're right.
No, he wasn't stocky enough either. Like Wolverine is wide. He's like Taz from ECW. Like
He's barrel
exactly.
chested.
He's like Taz. Yeah,
yeah, like he's got that like barrel build.
Yeah. So yeah, here we see Sentinel arm, blah blah.
That Sentinel head could probably actually grab Rogue's ass whole handed.
Yeah, exactly.
We just need to make
So-
everything about Rogue's ass in this whole thing.
All right, that's okay. There's only
And you would-
1 or 2.
yeah.
So this looks like Genosha.
Genosha?
I thought it might be the Savage Land, but it's taken straight out of Genosha. You got statues there with Magneto.
I
and,
wonder if they're going to kind of adopt the Savage Land as Genosha, like kind of like merge that idea together.
No, because Genosha existed in the cartoon. They were on there when they were trapped.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
when
you're right with the collars.
with the
Yeah.
colors that they were on there. So I don't know if Magneto probably went back as he did in the comic books and just liberated Genosha and turned it into a
They
mutant.
didn't have they
Haven.
didn't have their powers, did they? Until Xavier was able to walk.
Yeah,
That was a Savage Land, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. God, I'm
That's
getting all
Savage
my-
Land.
It's been years.
which is not looking back on it is kind of as dumb as like in Days of Future Past where Xavier like took the drug that like made it so that he could walk but he couldn't use his powers. Like
It made no sense.
But
It
his
doesn't. It really
powers, with his
hate
powers,
that
he
fucking
can
thing.
make things move with his mind. Why
No.
can't he make his legs move?
No, he's just psychic. He's just telepathic. He can't.
Jean
make-
Grey,
yeah.
Jean Grey is
Yeah.
telekinetic and telepathic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Leave it to a woman to multitask. I'm just saying. It's
Oh yeah, Miss Marvel was in the series when Rogue kind of drained her powers. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right.
yep.
Yeah.
In that episode.
This. So this obviously is just for the mansion. Blah blah blah.
I just hope they don't like. I'm sorry, like Wolverine. They need to badassify Wolverine in this. Like they need to grow. The show needs to grow up with us, and they actually need to make Wolverine like a little bit like. Don't make him the cheesy like. Well, quit buzzing in my ear, bub. Like, oh god, I heard that line and I'm like, oh god.
Storm's got a new. Storm's haircut been like that for a while. Because I don't remember.
Because he was like,
that's her 80s hairdo when she kind of lost her powers and.
Don't you think?
Like,
Obviously, by the way,
when I think of Wolverine, I think of this, guy who's out in the woods in the snow of Canada, who's got to be strong and fucking bitter, and he's not cheesy at all. He's like a badass that you don't fuck with. And you're right. They're not making him like that in this.
Well, he wasn't like that in the original cartoon either, which is what I hated about Wolverine in that cartoon. Like Wolverine was probably my least favorite character in the original in the 90s X-Men. I liked Beast, Storm, Gambit, Rogue, Cyclops. Like I liked all of them more than Wolverine. I hated Wolverine.
Don't you think Beast should be the new leader because of being a very intelligent guy who's also probably the oldest of the lot? And I think for Wolverine, of course.
Yeah, it's Cyclops.
No, because the difference between being intelligent and being tactically apt. There's a big difference. That's what Cyclops' strength was. Cyclops' strengths always lied in the fact that he was just great on the field. The same with Storm. Very smart.
But you wouldn't say that about Xavier being great on the field. But I'm just.
But he was never on the field. He was always
Cyclops is the field leader. He was always the field leader, and Storm was number 2 field leader. Beast was not that guy. Beast was, he was the lab jockey. He was the scientist. He's not, he's not the kind of leader in terms of battle and all this kind of stuff. And he's not the oldest. Like in the comic books, like him, Cyclops, Jean Grey, they're all the same age. They're all like young.
I was saying
his oldest.
Well, yeah, but Cyclops was always bred to be that tactical leader. And on top of that, the 90s cartoon actually got Cyclops at least somewhat right compared to the comics. Yeah, it
was great in the cartoon.
I know. Well, they've never gotten him right. Even in I like the show Wolverine and X-Men, but it's like they got Cyclops so wrong in that show. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But just here we see Bishop. I'd like to know why Bishop's come back. What he's doing there, obviously.
I don't. What happened to him at the end of the series? I don't remember. Like, I'm gonna watch through it again before this comes out, but I just don't remember.
Bishop, did he just returned back to his timeline because
he did? Changed. Okay.
Remind me, Bishop and Cable are pretty much the same person, aren't they? Regarding power,
just 2 different timelines. Yeah. They're not the same person. They're just from the future.
But their powers are the same.
No, they're not.
No,
not at all. No, Bishop absorbs people's kinetic energy and channels it right back.
Can't Cable do it?
Cable's telekinesis, telepathic. He's like Jean Grey, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always thought. Okay.
They just both use guns, and you see guns as a bad thing. So that's why you bunch them together. You racist fuck.
What the hell?
Yeah, Zan.
Yeah. I'm worried now. He's gonna shoot me.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna rob you and shoot you. There we see Storm being awesome.
Yeah,
shoot me.
So
I don't want Jubilee back. I always did not like Jubilee. I just didn't like her. I want Shadowcat. I want Kitty Pryde. I don't want. And was she ever even in the cartoon, like the 90s? I don't think so. I don't think.
Yes. What?
Yeah, she was part of it, dude.
Jubilee was the central point.
No. Shadowcat. Kitty Pryde.
No, she wasn't. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want Kitty Pryde. I don't want Jubilee.
I can't stand Kitty Pryde at all.
Really?
I can't stand when they brought in kids. Same with Jubilee. When they're bringing kids to a field of adults, it just does my fucking night. And that's what Kitty Pryde was in the comic books. It was like this kid that was being
birthed at. I meant more of like an adult, like not bring her in as Kitty Pryde. Bring her in as like young adult Kitty Pryde. Like she's already been in the X-Men, and then she's kind of come back.
I wouldn't say no if they brought her in, but I'm not the biggest fan. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
No, I don't want Kitty Pryde. I want like young adult Kitty Pryde. That's like graduated.
Yeah,
and just kind of went off on her own for a little while, and now is
give him Kitty
because
Pryde
of
if he
Charles'
shuts the
death.
fuck up.
Yeah. So here we have. Okay, so I don't know if you're okay with me talking slight spoilers here, Cheeto.
I'm fine. I know exactly probably where
All
you're
right.
going with this.
So, okay. So obviously Jean Grey pregnant. Now, if you know the comic books, you will know that when Cyclops got Jean Grey pregnant, gave birth to Cable, but it wasn't Jean Grey. It was a clone of Jean Grey. It was
Madeline Pryor.
Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, and all this that kind of joined the Hellfire Club. Now, we saw earlier the newspaper article with the Hellfire Gala, so they're a bit more open about who they are. And then we see Jean Grey is pregnant, and spoilers, the toys, wave 2 of the toys that they released. So I've got Wolverine up there from wave 1, but from wave 2, they've shown Madeline Pryor with the baby.
Really?
In the toy.
I did not know that
Yeah.
part. Nice.
Yes. So obviously we're going to get the Madeline Pryor. So this isn't Jean Grey. This is Madeline Pryor. So that's fucking awesome. Or it could be Jean Grey is suspended somewhere. And
I was about to say, because Jean was back at the end of the show. So, I mean, wasn't when Madeline Pryor came in, Jean Grey was dead after the Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So they might do that as well. It might be a bait and switch.
Oh, you mean like that whole time it's been Madeline Pryor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, because don't forget, the plants were seeded. The seeds were planted. Fucking plants were seeded. I'm so ass backwards. With Sinister being obsessed with cloning Jean Grey and Cyclops.
Yeah, and they already touched on that.
Come straight from that.
That's something that they need to bring back. They need to bring back Mr. Sinister.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be back as well.
And of course, my favorite Apocalypse is coming back. Yay!
He'll be back for sure.
Yeah, of
but
course.
This was the main thing I wanted to talk about, because this is like the big one that was revealed to us in the toys, unfortunately. But so we know that we're going to get the Goblin Queen and the Hellfire Club and all this kind of stuff. So that's going to be awesome to see. I wish that they hadn't fucking released the toy yet, but doesn't matter. And then
there's the road shot.
Look, there you go. There's nothing there now.
Oh
Holy
no,
shit.
there's nothing there now.
We've been robbed. We've been robbed. So who wants to bet this is a training simulation?
Oh,
I agree. It's probably.
I would put money down. It's a training sim. Although they did have the actual Sentinel hand, didn't they?
They did, but I'm guessing that this is like early on where it's a training simulation,
and they're all together.
If not, I hope I'm wrong. Of course, yes.
I love them fighting the Sentinels.
This is
Is Wolverine going to blow up now because he's turning fucking? He's
done it before with the Cap's shield and all this. All right, so here I just wanted to focus on one thing here. So Morph, I when I first saw Morph's character, this was when they first kind of revealed the pictures, and I said in the group, I said, I bet you any money they've made him non-binary, because they, what Disney's like and all this kind of shit. And it got revealed today that Morph has gone from a male character to a non-binary character. He looks like they look like their kind of Age of Apocalypse counterpart, which
I was more thinking Chameleon.
Yeah, no, it looks like his Age of Apocalypse kind of counterpart, where it's just a white face, all of that. I've got no issue with that, but all I know, if I had Morph's ability, I'd be looking like fucking J-Lo and just looking at myself in the mirror, because it's 1997. So I'm just saying, But no, this is nice. It kind of again brings in another crowd. It's one of those kind of things. Can switch between whatever it wants for as long as they want. And I just think I'll bring that. That's triggered a lot of people, but of
course, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I don't really care. You know what I mean? This was my favorite iteration of Morph, was when they had the kind of non-face type of thing. Morph didn't die in the first season. Nobody ever dies in the comic books or in the cartoons. He came back.
Yeah, go watch the cartoon, and then you will. Then you'll see, I mean, it takes place in the first and second season. So
is Xavier coming back then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, he's not dead. I mean, he's not officially dead. He was taken away by Lilandra.
Yeah, but I think in the reason when they came back, isn't that because they had the coffin going down in the hole, and I wonder if they are going to kill him.
They had the coffin going down, but I don't know if that's a full funeral or if they're going to officially kill him off. That's the beauty of it. We don't know.
Yeah,
just the fact that Magneto's not wearing the helmet is enough reason that he's dead,
or he's just gone. But
gone where?
Yeah, I mean, when he was on his deathbed.
Space.
Yeah, when he was on his deathbed, Magneto came
oh my god,
anyway.
Zam. He went into space at the end of the animated series with Lilandra and the Shi'ar because he had a disease and he was going to die. The Shi'ar took him because they could sustain him because he wouldn't. Well, I mean, we've already said this, so that's why I'm just
yeah. And this cartoon takes place literally right after the events of the end of the first run of the cartoons. That's why it's called X-Men 97. Because the first cartoon ended in 1997, and this one is just picking up the straight after
season 2. I want them to call it X-Men 98.
Huh?
If they do like multiple seasons, I want them to do X-Men 98 and then X-Men 98.
98, 99, 2000.
Yeah,
go to the extreme.
I agree.
All the extreme stuff. So yeah, that's X-Men. I can't wait. I'm excited for it. I just hope.
God, I've watched that scene with To Me My X-Men like 1,000 times, I think.
Yeah, I just hope they don't fucking Disneyfy it too much, though. I really don't want.
Well, Rick B has an issue with it already, but I'm not surprised. So you just can't.
But again, even that, I don't want that to be the center point that isn't mutant related. Like if it's mutant focused rather than the other stuff focused, it's like it's going to be awesome. So if they do with the Friends of Humanity and attacks on mutant and violence against mutant, that's the perfect algorithm for all the kind of stuff that's going on today. I mean, shit don't fucking change. So that's what they need to focus on that aspect of it, rather than say, oh, it's because the black, the white, the this, the that. It's like that's the mutant. That's the algorithm of the allegory for it, and it's perfectly placed because that's what it was about.
Yeah,
but back to Morph though, right? The thing is that the character in the comic is transgender because he could become male, he could become female, he could become.
He's non-binary, not trans. He's not trans.
No,
he's non-binary.
But he transitions within his power.
It can morph into anything. It can morph into objects.
I know this is going to be a weird concept for people who don't understand this. Trans existed long before the internet did.
Did it?
I know.
Yeah.
And Morph was kind of that representation in comic form.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Non-binary.
Shoehorning.
Non-binary, not trans, non-binary.
My understanding of non-binary is someone that doesn't fit into what's a stereotypical idea of what a man does or what a female does. They don't believe that males are someone who makes the bacon, doesn't cry, goes to war, and that women cry. I'm not saying these are right. I'm just saying stereotypical societal beliefs. What the fuck is that?
Whose alarm is that?
Not me.
It's not me. Oh, that would be Gaz. He's being robbed.
You're getting robbed, mate.
You fucking toast him, man. You gotta fucking pop the button.
Dude, he's gonna go down and power bomb him. He's gonna be like, they're gonna be breaking in. He's gonna be like, bam, like right through the dining room table.
But someone who's non-binary doesn't believe in these preconceived notions and says that.
No, it's not preconceived notions. They just don't. They don't fall into the kind of male or female role. They don't feel either way.
Yeah.
They don't feel male. They don't feel. It's nothing to do with. They don't feel like women should be in the kitchen. All this. It's more of like the biological system detachment from both genders.
Season 2, episode 10 of Quantum Leap had a really good moment regarding a non-binary character, and because it was set in the 50s, people couldn't really understand about that shit, but because Ben is from the future, he was able to explain that particular thing because he played one of 3 sisters, and one of his sisters is non-binary, and so he was able to explain that to her because she was dressed quite masculine, but she herself never felt like a man either. So it was really well. It was really well, better than I'm explaining. Really well explained in that episode. Really well explained.
Because I've always thought that maybe I was non-binary because I don't particularly feel like I fall into any category. Although I would still at the same time consider my sex to be female, but my characteristics don't fall into either category. So maybe I've just been incorrect.
It's a gender identity more than a characteristic or a societal role kind of thing. Yeah. It's linked to. It's the same way as kind of trans women or trans men feel. It's the same thing. They have a disconnect between the two, and so they just fall into the middle and they're like, "This is what I am." And sometimes it switches again. There's so many different things going on that we don't understand in terms of hormones and proteins and how they react and all this. So sometimes they switch and all this, and I say it doesn't hurt me. I don't care. You know what I mean?
So I guess just the gender role as opposed to a sex.
It's not a role. It's just identity, gender identity.
Okay, sorry, I'm confused.
Role. Gender role is the kind of things that we expect from women and men, but it's how they identify, and they tend to not identify as either male or female.
Okay, so how would I know this is a tangent, but how would then I identify, even though I identify as a woman, but I don't identify with gender roles? What title is that given, if any?
I think that just means you just what's the word? It doesn't fall into the trans category because non-binary is under the trans category. What you do is you just what's the terminology for it? For fuck's sake,
tomboy.
Tomboy, yeah, like a tomboy, basically.
Yeah, being tomboy is still a thing.
Yeah,
I think you should just be a Christine.
So, although you're a woman, you don't kind of align yourself with the kind of roles associated with womanhood and all this kind of stuff. It's more like tomboyish. It's the best way.
I don't agree with anything being male or female. I believe that a human can just do what they want to do, and it's not men or female roles. It's just what you decide to do.
Yeah, that's bucking the trend of the patriarchy, basically.
Oh, okay.
And saying that people should be allowed to fulfill whatever roles they were. Like if a woman wants to be a plumber, she can be a plumber. If a guy wants to play with dolls, let him play with dolls. You know, that Barbie dolls, all this kind of stuff.
Sorry for the tangent. Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's what we're here for.
Listen, you still have about 15 more stories, but before you hit your quota. So your Canadian quota.
Have you guys watched? Did you guys ever finish watching Gen V by any chance?
Yes, I did. It was shit.
There was a character I liked it. I liked it. I know you guys didn't, but there was a character who was a non-binary superhero because they could be either male or female, but that's all they can morph into. They're male version of themselves or they're female versions of themselves, and so they were a non-binary character.
That's a great character. Yeah.
The person's character's name was Jordan. Yeah, it was a very interesting character as well, and it brought these sort of. Sorry.
The British TV show about the kids that got in that storm, that thunderstorm. Misfits.
No, this is basically a spin-off of The Boys, where these superheroes are in college, these young like teenage superheroes. But one of them is a non-binary character that could be either male or female. They have some powers as well, depending on if they're male. I think if they're male, they're stronger, and if they're female, they're faster, or something along those lines as well. But
because us males are stronger.
Because in the Misfits, one of the characters in like 3rd or 4th season could change between male and female.
No, right. I never got that far.
I don't know
it was good. The first 2 seasons were good. After that, I just kind of. I think I was busy and I just never got back into it. I missed a lot of TV back then. You know, I lost interest. Yeah, me too, Rick. It was I could barely make it through the first 2 episodes, and the episode it was awful.
I liked it a lot. It got better and better with each episode.
Yeah. So moving on to the cast of Fantastic Four. Let me bring it up here.
The Fantastic Whores.
The Fantastic Whores. So it's been confirmed that Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby is Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss Bachrach is the Flynn.
Bachrach. Sound like a Scouser.
Scouser. He makes his fucking Eben Bachrach, mate, on the thing. I'll fucking punch your face in, you fucking cunt. So, you know, again, good actors, but too old for me. And how committed can they be to the roles? How much are they going to do the Fantastic Four? Again, I'm sure they're going to do a cracking job. But so what are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, Vanessa Kirby is fucking gorgeous, but she's not going to be looking that way by the time they make the second or third X-Men movie. Fantastic Four movie, or by Avengers, because she'll be in her 40s and she can maintain that look. I'll be amazed. But Sue Storm was always known to be fucking hot. Pedro Pascal will be in his 50s by then. By the time they even start fucking shooting, and the other two guys will probably be in their fucking. I mean, the actor who plays Ben Grimm, I'm sure he'll do a good job, but he'll be under makeup or he'll be doing voice work. And the guy who plays Johnny Storm, well, we'll see.
Yeah,
you might.
If it's so well done, who cares?
Yeah, but
they've got to get it right.
No, but
that's the most important thing.
Look, my issue with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm is that the guy's a fucking astronaut, but he came across as really fucking stupid.
He was a good pilot.
I mean?
He wasn't a
pilot.
Yeah, he wasn't an astronaut. He was a good pilot.
No, all right, fine, but he still can't be that level of stupid at times. It was just ridiculous how stupid he was. You know what I mean?
No, those are pretty stupid people.
Yeah, I guess, but I just thought he'd be regardless.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, like Johnny Storm, he can be a playboy, he can be fun loving, but he can still be intelligent.
Well,
you know, like Tony Stark for a good example.
But that's Tony Stark
you know
from the comic stuff. He was always this like goofy, sort of like fun loving, sort of daredevil-y character.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that, but he came across as stupid when the guys are fucking going into space.
But the way, the way they explained it was that it was more so it was because it was Sue's brother, and that's how he got in that flight. It wasn't. It wasn't the fact that he was smart and he's like the best at everything.
Fair enough, but you can't be an idiot when you're a fucking pilot either. Like surely, like there's
some pretty stupid pilots too.
Educate yourself to a degree, you know, to get to that far.
Well, it came out in the 60s. So...
In the 1960s and has to be set up for the multiverse. Is it?
Can we fuck off with multiverses for a bit?
No, the multiverse is still going on, mate. Get used to it because we've got Deadpool 3 because it's all leading towards Secret Wars.
I was about to say it's barely even, in my opinion, it's barely started.
Yeah, they just haven't got it right. But they've only leaned into it once, really.
Multiverse of Madness, really. I mean, and then at the end of Marvel.
The Marvels.
Yeah.
They haven't done it in Loki. Loki's timelines. It's fuck all to do with the multiverse.
Yeah, well, it's still multiverse, even though it's different, like it's timelines, but still. I mean, they've really only leaned into it. You're right. Like at the end of the Marvels and maybe Ant-Man. Maybe not even that. It's not a different timeline.
No, Ant-Man went to the quantum realm.
Yeah, so that doesn't even count. So
I have to admit, I like the way DC did it. Even the Flash, he did it so much better than what the fucking MCU's fucking doing it.
Hopefully Deadpool will rectify that. You know, like
hopefully they'll do more justice in there. Because Ryan Reynolds has more of a say, and he's a big comic book fan.
But let's just say argument's sake, Deadpool does rectify that. The other films still need to, continue sailing that ship. You can't just steer it one direction, afterwards, and then continue with some of the same characters we've already had who are churning out bollocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't disagree with you there. I mean, they have to. Deadpool can be amazing, but it's what the others do with the other properties. as well. And if this is, I mean, I'm not against this Fantastic Four being set in the 1960s if it's tied to the multiverse and they're not on 616. And it's a different universe, because then you can have more fun with it. But we don't get the desired Victor Von Doom storyline that I always wanted. But it's all right. It's not the end of the world.
If it's Dan Stevens, I'm on board.
Huh?
If it's Dan Stevens, I'm on board.
If it's Dan Stevens, yeah. He'd be fucking.
If he's Doctor Doom, I'm on board.
It'll be great. Come in as Doctor Doom and Legion. I'm all for it.
I'll tell you who'd be a good Doctor Doom. I think Cillian Murphy would be an awesome Doctor Doom.
I don't think so. Like, he's creepy. I don't feel like he's that threatening.
He's got those eyes, man. He's got those fucking eyes. Yeah, he's gonna pierce through that fucking helmet.
I still don't. I feel like he's got the creep factor there for like Mole Man, but like I don't.
No, if you watch him in Peaky Blinders, he's got that threat about him.
Yeah, but would you call him Doom though? Like
no. Dan Stevens gets a fit for.
I would not call him a Doom. You know, like
he's quite tall.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think Cillian Murphy's about joining these kind of films anymore.
What about the guy who looks a lot like him, that singer?
Oh yeah, the one you mentioned.
Yeah, Ren.
Yeah,
and he's a good actor. If you watch his videos, he puts a lot of acting into them. I think he could be really creepy if you wanted to.
Well, but that's the thing. Dr. Doom's not creepy. Dr. Doom is a dictator, and he commands that.
That he could do that. Trust me.
I'm all, whatever, man. Yeah, I'm all. For
I don't know. So I can't agree or disagree. I don't know the person.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Chris Evans in The Losers. He was great in that.
Oh yeah, I love The Losers with Chris and Chris Evans in there too.
It was an all right film. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the critics were saying it was, because they panned it. But I thought, it was watchable. Zoe Saldana's fucking great in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Zoe Saldana, she's just fucking great in everything. Look at Gamora, the most interesting character of all the Guardians. Her and her sister had the best part, even in Guardians 2, which was a part of crap. Her and her sister were
the best part.
They had the best conflict. They were the best part of it. In part 3, in
Nebula's arc has been the best, actually. Nebula's arc.
Nebula, awesome. Yeah. I forgot her name. So thanks for that.
Cara Dillon.
No, not the actress. The character's name. I know the actress.
And it's really crazy. Yeah, that the road that Nebula went through, through the whole thing. It's just nuts.
Phenomenal.
Even in Guardians 3.
Yeah. Even in the Avengers, even in
Endgame, all of that, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, the journey Nebula went on is actually very believable, and because if you think about it, Gamora's story ended at Infinity War.
Yeah,
the one that came back in Endgame and in Guardians 3 is not the same one.
Yeah, but again, just fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
So, I ain't got nothing else for TV and film. Anyone else got anything?
Any of you guys seen Madam Web yet?
No, but I've heard it's goddamn awful.
No, I got kicked out of a local showing, for bringing my willy out in the middle of a Madam Web showing.
That was you.
Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me at all.
Congratulations, you're going to be on a sex offenders register. Well done.
Yes, me and Pee Wee Herman, baby.
I'm going to try.
He's dead.
Somebody got arrested in the cinema for whipping their cock out to beat off to Sydney Sweeney. I don't think it was real, because she's dressed up like a dolly nerd throughout the whole thing. So
that might be their jam. That's kind of my jam.
Maybe that's their jam, baby. Maybe that's their jam. But I mean, the best thing about Madam Web has been seeing people have to sit and review this, because they're literally having a meltdown as to how bad the film is.
Oh, Jerry does two reviews of it. Oh my god.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson herself has been shitting on the film. She's like, this is basically what happens if you make AI out of Spider-Man, kind of thing. And she's been hilarious. She sacked her agents as well for putting her in this pile of shit. But
this is gonna cut.
I've enjoyed every moment of Madam Web because people are just they're sitting there like, how does this film get made? I'll tell you why this.
We have to watch it.
I'm going to try and watch it tomorrow.
And Pascal. They're the reason. Avi Arad is a talentless moron. He's got his two yes men that write his films. They're the same losers that wrote Morbius and wrote all the stuff that they've done is predominantly garbage, and they still keep getting work. And that's because Avi Arad has no talent whatsoever. He's a stupid human being. He's garbage, but he runs Sony Pictures. So unless you fire him, Craven's coming out. Look how shit that looks. Okay,
but it's gonna be worth it for Russell Crowe's accent again.
Yeah, waiting for the I am a Russian.
No, I can do it.
Would you say?
I am a foreign.
Are you willing to make a bet that one of us?
You cannot tell me because I'm going to be making Mamma Mia. So
would you make a bet that maybe one of us four will like it?
What, Craven? It'll be you.
No, not Craven. Madam Web.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It's so. Did any of you like Morbius?
No,
I haven't seen it.
I haven't even watched Morbius.
I've seen it. It's shit.
I've seen it. It's fucking terrible. But Madam Web has no redeeming qualities.
I'm going to give Madam Web a shot tomorrow.
Mid-2000s superhero films.
I'm going to give it a shot and see what goes on.
When it comes out on digital, when it comes out on digital, I'll sit through it. But it's just a really there's no excuse for making these kind of films. And if I am Sony now have made the Spider-Man property too toxic. Because me personally, I would have loved to have seen Arachnid and Spider-Woman and other Spider-Woman have their own fucking films. They could have done a great job with it. But so what's insane? Well, we've already talked about everything that's been insane today. Now we're just kind of lulling down into films.
But Madam Web so far, for sure.
But they've absolutely just made the product. So if you know it's a Spider-Man property from Sony, no one's going to fucking watch it anymore. Because it's just going to get Avi Arad bollocks in there.
I kind of disagree with you where when it comes to Spider-Man, which I know is Marvel Studios, mostly for them. But Into the Spider-Verse has also been very good. Yes. And I know you totally disagree, Ginger, but I think the Venom movies have been okay. I'm not going to say that they're great or good. I think they're pretty good. I think they're pretty okay.
I think okay, not good enough.
They should put their eggs into that basket. They should put the eggs into the Venom basket and go down the Venom stuff. Because, I think the films are fucking terrible, but enough people kind of enjoyed them. Well, they enjoyed the first one. I think you're the only person I know that likes the second one.
I hate the second one.
Yeah, okay. But the problem is anything else they're touching now after Morbius and now Madam Web and Craven, it's just no one's going to go and watch it. So at this point in time,
I agree with you.
I'm hoping this continues for the one reason only. They end up being forced to sell the fucking stuff. Now it's going to suck because we're going to lose the Spider-Verse stuff, Miles Morales stuff. But I'm willing to take that fucking hit if it means Disney get back Spider-Man, and because Sony have just butchered it.
I wonder, but if they sell Spider-Man back to Marvel and Disney, but wouldn't Into the Spider-Verse stuff still technically they wouldn't have to reboot all that? They could still continue that. It's what happened when
Disney could continue it because they'd own all the rights.
Yeah,
Disney can continue it. They can license it out to Sony if they wanted to, and so Sony can carry on with that stuff because it makes good money. So there's that possibility. But Sony bought the Valiant comics as well. All right, what did we get with that? We got Vin Diesel as Bloodspot, and good God, it was fucking awful.
It was terrible.
Okay. It was terrible. So they Sony Pictures suck at making films in general. How they made a profit last year is fucking beyond me, but they made a profit.
Well,
it was probably because of Spider-Verse. But they don't deserve the Spider-Man license. They don't deserve it. It needs to go back to Disney. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth. It was like when Fox were destroying the X-Men universe, they didn't know what to do with it. at that point in
destroy
time, they
everything.
just lose the license.
Well, I think with the X-Men, I think they had to sell because they were selling most of Fox off anyway. I think as Marvel fans, we lucked out with when it came to Fox giving up the X-Men rights because they were selling off part of Fox anyway. So I think we just lucked out in that aspect. But I mean, look at Universal and the Hulk. They're not doing anything with the Hulk. They never have. Like they've done the Incredible Hulk and then Ang Lee's Hulk. That's it. Legit. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and now they don't have the rights to the Hulk at all. They don't have distribution rights or anything. That's all.
I thought they still had something. I thought they.
No, it's all gone back to Disney. Are now allowed to make a solo Hulk film.
Oh,
which is
I
what
thought
they
I read
set
somewhere
up.
that there was still some reason why they couldn't make a solo Hulk film, even though the time had expired.
No, it's. I think it's gone now. Maybe there's a percentage different in terms of distribution, but they can make us a Hulk solo film now.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you, TT. I think that Sony should keep on to the Spider-Man. For a start, we wouldn't have got the Tom Holland stuff under Disney because we see what Disney do and they see bland crap all the time. The Spider-Man films, the three girls we had an edge about them. Okay, the third one specifically, because no way Disney would have Flaming Aunt May dying if they owned it lock, stock, and barrel.
Who made the Spider-Man films? It
Sony.
was under Disney's. No, it wasn't Sony. People keep saying it's Sony.
No,
it was under Disney's eye.
Oh,
Disney controlled the complete creative.
Marvel Studios
of it.
was the producer on that movie.
Spider-Man was in.
That's why they were
Civil
fucking
War.
good films. Are you blind? Have you not seen Venom and Madam Web and Morbius and what they've done with those? How the fuck are people still saying that Sony did Spider-Man? Look at the chasm of creativity and difference between the two. It's ridiculous. And Tom Holland was cast when they
In
did
Civil
the deal.
War.
He showed up in Civil War.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
Avengers movies. By the way, just going back to Madam Web, there's one thing I do find fascinating, but I still know the film's going to be shit. Is that I like the concept of an evil Spider-Man. I think that's pretty cool. But
I mean, that's his Ezekiel Sims thing. I mean,
he's not Peter Parker. I get it, but he's pretty much Spider-Man.
No. I'm not talking about him being evil Peter Parker. I'm just saying, like, he didn't really. Did he ever wear that type of outfit in the comics, Ginger?
No.
I don't remember.
No,
Yeah,
No, but from what I've been seeing from the reviews is that this version of that character is a bad guy. He's almost like a serial killer.
Yeah, well, that's
as Spider-Man, as a superhero version of Spider-Man. And I like the idea of that. It's just a shame the film's shit.
Yeah, I mean the film's like Terminator, so he goes back in time to kill the three girls that kill him, basically, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's Terminator meets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so weird because it's just like the
Midnight Meat
Ezekiel
Train.
thing is like, I didn't mind it in the Straczynski run in Amazing Spider-Man because I read that was when my height of reading Amazing Spider-Man, was the Ezekiel stuff, and where's Moreland, dude? That was the whole linchpin of frickin' the Ezekiel thing was Moreland.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring Moreland into it, but
If
Daniel Bond. Raven will turn it
get
around for all of them.
disconnected,
Just
I'll
wait.
come back because I'm plugging
Yeah,
my
no
phone
worries.
in, and that happens sometimes.
Yeah, but Vance, Craven won't save it because the thing is that he's gone from Craven the Hunter to be Craven Dr. Doolittle, where he likes animals. It's like,
Yeah. Look at me. I play with these animals.
And
I doesn't even
and
like
saying that, guys, that's Sony, not Disney. That's a Disney move done by Sony.
Yeah, that's what Sony would do. No, Dr. Dolittle wasn't Disney.
No, I'm talking about Craven the Hunter being like.
Well, Disney didn't do Craven.
No, I'm saying it's a Disney move done by Sony.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
because we've got to make the hero we've got to make the bad guy a hero, and we've got to do that by making sure that he's not the hunter.
Well, there's a fine line between making your villain sympathetic and making your villain like the hero of his own story.
Pussy.
Like they did it with
Yeah,
Loki. They did
yeah.
it well with Loki.
Yes.
You know, like making him the hero of his own story. You know, like, but like with Kraven, it's like, no, Kraven. Here's what happened with Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter was like a force of nature. He showed up in New York City. He wanted the best hunt that he could get, so he hunted Spider-Man. Bottom line, like that's it. Like what's I don't know what's going on with this trailer and everything, but it's like no,
Well,
Kraven needed to show up in Spider-Man. Like he needed to show
Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man 5. No, Spider-Man 5 after Secret Wars.
Sorry, yeah.
After he gets the black suit, and then we can have Kraven's Last Hunt. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm okay with them replacing Vermin with the Lizard. I think that would be a good trade-off for a major Spider-Man villain. But still, like they have it right there in their hands. All they have to do is fondle it. Like really.
No,
talking
but
about
if you're gonna make I agree with you.
I haven't played it, but the other Zam, you've played Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
Kraven's
it's
in-
all right. Yeah, Kraven's in that game, but I agree with you. If you're gonna make like a Kraven film, like I would like have Kraven going up as a bad guy who happens to be going up against other bad guys who want him dead for some whatever reason, you know. And that's where I play it. I wouldn't make him morally gray or whatever. I'll just make him somebody who just happens to be having a
Best hunter in
disagreement
the
with other assholes. You know,
Well,
he's
Kraven-
an asshole and yeah.
If you're going to bring Kraven into it, and I wouldn't do it as a solo film, but after the events of Venom 2, bring him in Venom 3, hunting the symbiotes. You know,
You could do. I mean, that'd be better than
or
probably
hunting
what else
a
they did.
symbiote in his own film, or whatever. You know,
Yeah, but I got pissed off with the Carnage film. But I think to myself, like, Carnage doesn't get in enough respect as a character. I think
Oh no, they
yeah.
definitely PG-13 that. I thought that Let There Be Carnage was
Hey.
okay, but like they really PG-13 that, and that's what kind of pisses me off about
agreed.
Carnage in that movie. It should have been rated R. It should have been gory. I'm sorry, like this is
Yeah,
the
for
guy here
sure.
that doesn't care for goriness, but like when you bring Carnage in,
Cletus Cassidy. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you guys
and
a
he's-
fucking serial killer.
he
You know what
is.
I mean? Yeah, like yeah. If you're gonna give like a symbiote and you're gonna put him on a serial killer, and you gotta make him do some crazy fucking shit. I'm very much looking forward to how Carnage is gonna be portrayed in Spider-Man 3. Unfortunately, with Green Goblin also being in Spider-Man 3, the video game I'm talking about, Carnage won't be the main character like Venom was in Spider-Man 2. So he's gonna be a sub boss.
yeah. Oh well, cool. Okay. Anything else?
Star Trek Discovery premieres on the 4th of April. Yay, the 2-episode premiere. I don't know. That's just what the first thing that popped in my head.
On what streaming service?
Paramount Plus.
They announced the release date for Umbrella Academy, the final series as well, which was it's not until August though, which is a bit of a pisser. But I can't wait for
Another
that.
season.
Oh, it's good. I like it.
Yeah,
I could watch the 3rd season.
It's just gonna be like, okay, it's gonna begin with, okay, the world's gonna blow up again, and we have to sort it out within 10 episodes. Like, every fucking time, man. Like, come on, please.
But I love
think
it.
But they do it well. I like it.
Well, the
It's
characters
just
are
that
compelling.
by season 5, I would like something a little bit different.
Well, they're
Yeah,
not
I
doing a
mean-
season 5. Season 4 is it.
Oh, sorry, season 4. I meant. Sorry. I would like
Oh,
something
okay. So
different.
this season, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gaz, you want to say something?
As I said, yeah, we've got Extraordinary season 2 coming out. I'm seeing if
Mhm.
there's a
I can't wait to see
trailer
that.
for it.
Oh, I've seen some clips, by the way. Some of the stuff that goes on in there, fucking Michael Burnham like flying around on space, you know, like holding onto a spaceship that's going on warp drive. It's like fucking hell, like crazy shit she's doing. Man.
I know that's what they're saying. They're saying last season was a bit of a slow burn. So this season it's more like a Fast and Furious in space or something, or not, maybe not Fast and Furious. I don't remember what the reference they made, but I'm like, Oh God, I'm like maybe
You get an STD if you fuck. Yes, that's
that's
you're
kind
right.
of part of it. Yeah, I know. I'm not on board with this idea of it being like this last season being like the Fast and Furious version of a Star Trek series. Like this show has been all over the place. I didn't mind the last 2 seasons, but with the way that this season's kind of looking, I'm just not feeling it. Like I like the running
Season
around
5, Vulcan Drift.
It's not. Yeah, you're right about all over the place. From being a prequel series, it ended up being a fucking future series. Like
I know,
it's crazy.
I liked it.
No,
That's the one where they go into the future, right?
Yes.
Eventually, yeah.
No, I like season 3 and 4. Like I'm not saying anything bad about those seasons. But now it's like they got this whole like motorcycle fetish going on in this season upcoming, and it's just like, it's just like, yeah, we're running fast, we're going fast, we're gonna shoot the phasers.
Did James Wan direct the fucking series?
Yeah.
Because like, what if season one and 2, especially season 1, is they wanted to be Game of Thrones in space when they just needed to be Star Trek.
Yes.
And because once season 3 came along and they started being Star Trek again, that's when people started to appreciate when you saw the diplomacy angles and stuff like that. I thought, yeah, this is Star Trek finally. We got to see it, and looking into the future. Sorry,
more sex, less diplomacy. I say.
I mean, why can't we have both? Like, why can't there be sex and diplomacy? Come on.
There's people getting fucked in that as well, man.
Yeah, there's Klingon sex in there.
I'm gonna have a watch there. I'm just saying in general in life, let more sex, less diplomacy.
And David Cronenberg's in it, for fuck's sake. You can't go wrong. Yeah,
I just want Jeffrey Combs. That's what I want.
The great director who made one of my favorite horror movies in Nightbreed.
All right. I thought so. In Star Trek.
Sorry, I apologize. He didn't make Nightbreed. He starred in Nightbreed, but he's been in stuff like The Naked Lunch and stuff like that. He directed that.
Naked Lunch. That sounds like Zam's porn.
Yeah. Yeah,
cool.
Coke definitely got it. Yeah.
Man, I feel like there's been so many announcements this week. I feel like we're grasping.
What about wrestling? Anything on wrestling?
Part 2 is out soon. I haven't watched the first part. I'm waiting.
Gas is getting broken into again, man. It must be mayhem in Manchester.
Oh, it always is in Manchester.
When season 2 of Invincible
now
coming?
that he's gone, I fucking hate Manchester.
Shit off. Yeah.
When's it coming out?
Invincible? August?
August?
No, that was Umbrella Academy.
Oh.
I think it was
are they on mid-season break already, right?
Yeah.
They've been on mid-season break. It's an 8-episode show, and they've done fucking mid-season break on an 8-episode show.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ginger, but didn't they have a mid-season break and they're in that mid-season break right now? Or did they? Because
they're in a mid-season break. The next episode's dropped from 14th of March.
Fucking that's ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's it, guys.
I'm
tired.
All right then.
Everyone done? Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
We doing bollocks and banter?
Not tomorrow now, because I've got my nephews and I'll probably be shattered after that. So I won't be doing bollocks and banter. If you guys want to do bollocks and banter, I don't know if you've got a meeting tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we've got the Debatamania meeting at 1 p.m. my time. So it'd be 6 p.m. your guys' time.
Yeah. Well, Sam, if you guys want to do bollocks and banter.
Might do. I do have to take my cousin and a friend of ours out for some Indian food at some point. So
okay.
Yeah, I might not be able to make that meeting. I've just realized because of that. So I'm really sorry if that's the case. It's 6 p.m. 7 o'clock. I might have to go out, and then I have to come back in time for bollocks and spastic. So yeah.
Well, you already know what I mean. The meeting's kind of like you already know what to expect, and nobody cares what you think anyway. So
Yeah, so
Then I won't be
my
missed.
PlayStation 5 is coming tomorrow. It dropped in price today. You know, 2 days ago I nearly bought one, and then today they dropped in price by £80.
Really?
How much you get it for?
I got 5 games with it, and four games.
Well, you know why it went down in price, because it says it's at the end of its life cycle. It's like,
yeah,
for real. Like, it just like people are just now. I went to Walmart and I saw 3 of them finally in the like the little casing or whatever with the PlayStation 5. Like,
the fact that Sony just had their quarterly announcements and they're falling way behind target. So literally the day after that conference, they dropped the prices. So so more people could buy them. So I jumped and I got one.
So
it's crazy. So it's dropped in it's the end of its life cycle, but 3 years you couldn't even fucking buy one.
No,
It's just so crazy.
Yeah, it's not near its end. No, there won't be another PlayStation for about another 4 years, 4 years. You know, because COVID and shortage of parts fucked everything up. People are not ready, and you know they've missed their targets massively because number one, distribution rights, but number two, people are fucking broke as well. So everyone's missing their targets. Hasbro has reported like huge drop in profits as well because people are fucking broke because those same corporations are jacking up the bloody prices. What games are getting? Spider-Man 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Wrecking Crew or something like that, and Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
And the bubbles finally burst. I mean, they just kept jacking the price till they got to the point, like you said, you can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. No wrestling this week, Vance. It's all the same shit. Nothing new to kind of report.
Oh, really?
But the Wrecking game, I'm going to take that and exchange it at CEX for Horizon as well, because I can get that for only like 10 quid if I do the exchange. Arrowverse created teasing new series.
Which is crazy because we've already got Superman and Lois. Like, I like Brandon Routh's Superman and that Superman in Crisis, but why would they go for a whole show? Like, we have Superman and Lois, and I know that this is the last season, but why are we starting a whole nother Superman series before this one's done?
Sorry, Brandon Routh didn't get the Superman thing that suited his talents, and the thing is now he's getting it, and I'm super happy for him.
Yeah, but we've got a Superman Legacy coming out too. Like, there's so much. Like, don't oversaturate it. Like, that's what they do with Batman. They oversaturate it.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
I'm a big Superman fan, so you be ready for 1,000 Superman.
We are getting that flaming Green Lantern Corps show, which I'm super pumped about.
If it was set in space, the fact that it's on Earth, I'm not pumped about it.
Well, how the fuck is it Green Lantern Corps then?
What?
Will
they have any space in it?
Well, the Green Lantern Corps is in space.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what it should be. It should be in space. You just said it was on set of Earth.
Well, yeah, it's any space in it.
That's what I said it is. Yeah, that's why I'm not interested in it.
No space whatsoever.
Not from the sounds of it. No.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
That's horrible. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was literally like the start on Earth, but we're kind of branching out from there.
No, it's set on Earth. It's like a cop show on Earth.
Oh,
it should be a cop show in space, and they need like the Bad Boys theme. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Green Lantern come for you.
And it's gonna basically be like fucking Lethal Weapon, isn't it? With fucking Hal Jordan and fucking John Stewart.
Listen, I want Ryan Reynolds to do a cop's version of like his version of Green Lantern, like where they show like him like going around like busting people with like shaky cams.
Yeah,
kill me now.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want them to do like a dark show. I want them to do like Justice League Dark or something like that, or some sort of flame line.
Well, you need to get a good Justice League first before you can do Justice League Dark.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I was watching that film that you talked about a couple of weeks ago, and Fabian held that film's good.
Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay.
Yeah,
that's the best.
What a fucking film that is.
Actually, when you mentioned that, I've seen it before. When I watched it again, I realized I've seen it before with the with the Reverse Flash and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
my favorite bad guy. Yeah, I love
that's
him.
that's the one where he's got the hole in the head.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
But
trying to
that's actually a carryover from Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, yeah. It's
Right,
kind of-
Yeah, that's one villain. I mean, I thought they did a good job of it in the series, but they need to do it on film now.
Yeah, I mean the cartoons up until they did the Flashpoint thing where they reset the universe was fucking phenomenal. Since then, it's been very hit and miss, unfortunately. But yeah, yeah, that's it. That's everything. All right, guys, I'm gonna end it here because I want to go to bed. I've had a long day. Thank you to everyone that joined us, and thanks for taking the rain. That was
I do what I have to do.
And yeah, for those that there might be a bollocks and banter with Zam and Christine tomorrow, and whoever else.
Yep.
And if not, catch you at the next one. Bye,
Yep.
Felicia's.
Bye bye.